16 years is just the status quo. Nothing new, nothing will change.
My opponent is for the gas tax. His answer for the housing crisis is more government spending.
Cox trails Newsom in all polling, and in some by double digits. He has asked for more debates. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
One worker doing routine maintenance is being blamed for accidentally overpressurizing the natural gas lines in a Massachusetts town today that led to service being shut down temporarily for hundreds of customers. This only weeks after deadly fires and explosions in 3 other Massachusetts towns where too much pressure was also suspected, but the cause remains under investigation. I'm Lisa Brady, and this is Fox News.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong, a big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. Take it easy.
We're surrounded by sound. There are sounds that you need to hear. There are sounds that you want to hear. And there are sounds that you long to hear. Hear it all, louder and clearer than ever before. If you or someone you know has a hard time hearing, Guam Hearing Doctors can help using state-of-the-art test gear to evaluate your hearing and coming up with a plan to make your life better by making your hearing better. Call Guam Hearing Doctors for an appointment or visit them on the web at guamhearingdoctors.com.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a Day. I'm Mark Benventi of Santa Rita, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voice of our community and sharing thoughts and issues that affect us all. It all boils down to our people, our land. Protei Igumamo. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 7 minutes past 6 a.m. I'm Kevin Kerrigan, and here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The Chamorro Land Trust Commission has cleared Department of Land Management Director Michael Borja of any wrongdoing in connection with the Barrigada Heights land leases. Some of the leases were issued to certain well-connected government officials and to certain land management employees or their relatives, including a relative of Borja's. Borja oversees the CLTC, which is part of the Department of Land Management. A release from the CLTC yesterday says that the commission conducted an investigation into the leases and found no wrongdoing by the director, staff members, or their families, or those well-connected individuals who received leases as well. Commission found that they were following the policies in place at the time. The CLTC review notes that of the 57 leases issued between 2014 and 2018, only 1 was issued to a land management staff member. 3 were issued to relatives of staff members. The release goes on to explain that when the Guam Power Authority began to clear part of an easement in Barrigada Heights earlier this year, the director took advantage of that by asking DPW to clear the rest of the easement in order to reach CLTC properties that had been inaccessible since the program began. Clearing that easement provided access, which meant that the leases could be issued to those properties. The federal government has denied Governor Eddie Calvo's request for aid to help island families who suffered damage to their homes during Typhoon Mangkhut. The denial means that no federal assistance will be available to help pay for property damage as a result of the typhoon, which passed over the Mariana Islands on September 10th. The Calvo administration immediately announced that it would appeal the decision. The damage amount reported by the administration on September 21st in its request for a major disaster declaration did not qualify Guam for the Federal Emergency Management Agency's Individual Disaster Assistance Program. According to a release from Antelope, they did not say how much in total damage had been reported to FEMA. Governor Calvo says he has directed Guam Homeland Security and the Office of Civil Defense to work with local and federal partners to gather more data to help meet the threshold necessary to qualify for federal aid. Guam has already qualified for federal aid under FEMA's public assistance and hazard mitigation programs, which only apply to public facilities and public infrastructure. The administration has until November 4th to submit its appeal. We'll have more news after this.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
Calvo started with a simple handshake. As we celebrate 80 years, we extend a hand to all of you who have taken our hand in trust, to the dreamers and realists, the families, the businesses, the young at heart, and the old souls, our manumku and our children. From all of us to all of you, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
11 minutes past 6 a.m. here at The Point. Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio reported to the Agana precinct yesterday afternoon with his attorney to complete the final processing on the misdemeanor reckless conduct charges he's facing. Superior Court Judge Benjamin Sisson ordered the processing at Tenorio's arraignment last Wednesday. Tenorio was not present for that arraignment, and his attorney Tom Fisher entered a plea of not guilty and asked for a jury trial, which has been set for March 13th. Next year. Last week, Tenorio had to appear at the probation office at the Judicial Center for a photo. Yesterday, he was fingerprinted. This has gone pretty much far enough, said Tenorio, who was met at the precinct yesterday afternoon by camera crews and reporters. He said he respects the judicial process and will do whatever he's ordered to do by the court, but he suggested that there's politics involved in this process and said he was innocent of the misdemeanor charges against him. Speculation continues to grow that the Democratic gubernatorial team that finished second in the August primary election has decided to relaunch its bid for Antelope by conducting a write-in campaign. Senator Frank Uggan Jr. and his running mate, former U.S. Attorney Alicia Lim-Tiaco, held a wave with supporters in front of the Agana McDonald's along Route 4 yesterday morning. The wave followed a video posted on the Uggan Lim-Tiaco Facebook page last Thursday in which they defended their decision not to abide by the Democratic Party's unity pledge and suggested their support of a write-in campaign. Guam Daily Post caught up with Senator Uggan yesterday following a legislative hearing to ask him if he has relaunched his campaign. The senator brushed off the question, saying he would not comment at this time. When asked when he would comment, Uggan said he would make an announcement at the end of this week. He said, we were waving and saying hi to the people yesterday morning about that wave, and he said he and his running mate held yesterday morning. He said it's a continuation of the thank you for the support that they received during their campaign. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now with weather.
Open the microphone, Ray. Partly sunny today and very warm with isolated showers and thunderstorms. East winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Daytime highs 89 degrees and overnight lows should be about 78 degrees. We got sunset tonight at 6:05. Sunrise this morning just a few minutes ago at 6:10 a.m. I think I ought to be able to put up the satellite imagery and see if Mike can make some kind of sense on what the weather's going to be looking like in the next couple of days.
Yeah, looking at much the same as we had yesterday. What we're seeing here, a little bit of a spin from an upper-level low-pressure system that's kind of swinging through the area. That will enhance the chance of thunderstorms if we get any good convection building up. But if minus that, it should just be a very warm and partly cloudy day today.
Gotcha. That's news and weather together here on The Point, brought to you by Bank Pacific. Where others put branches, they place roots.
Forklift sales, rental, and specialized forklift repair are available from Morico Equipment on Ipoh Road. A 2.5-ton forklift with a 3-stage container mast and forkside shift is essential for business on Guam. Larger 3-ton, 5-ton, and 10-ton capacity forklifts and telehandlers are now available for rent or purchase at Morico Equipment. Morico is Guam's forklift specialist. New, used, spare parts, and service. Phone 649-1946 or go to moricoequipment.com.
Portions of the program brought to you by King's Restaurant. They've got lunch today. What is it? Bistec Chamorro. And again, somebody put a picture of their cravings on Facebook, and that got me thinking about today. Tuesday is the big special for Bistec Chamorro at King's.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
Appreciate you saying so. 6:15 portions of the program brought to you by Guam Hearing Doctors. Call the experts at Guam Hearing Doctors if you're worried about your hearing. The evaluation is simple and painless. Also brought to you by our friends over at Guam Regional Medical City. First choice for all of your open heart surgery needs. Micronesia Renewable Energy. Never been a better time to go solar. The guys over at American President Lines, they're shipping the future, and American Water Tech. Smarter water, better water.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagana, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
Thank you, buddy. Subway's Big Hot Pastrami is back. Tender, juicy beef on freshly baked bread. Get a Big Hot Pastrami at your favorite Subway location today. It's so good, you won't want to share. For a limited time only, Subway. Make it what you want.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
I keep thinking if I keep making those noises, that it'll all go away, and I'll be able to stand up for an entire 4-hour broadcast of the Ray Gibson Show today. Right?
It goes away for a few seconds,
but it comes right back. Yeah. So that's the thing. Hey, welcome to the program. Excuse the mess and excuse the boogers. This is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray Gibson. Get in the phone when you call at 888-8255. That's 888-TALK is Michael Knight. He's in the other studio, and he'll go ahead and push buttons and do all of the things that he does and talk about weather, etc. At different points in the program. Of course, we got Kevin Kerrigan, the managing editor from the Guam Daily Post, who 2 seconds before it's supposed to turn on the mic says, "Hold on a second, the computer froze." And I'm looking at Mike going, there's no time in that place for any kind of delay. But you kicked the pig and you were able to get it going, huh?
Yep, it's been acting up, acting funny.
Yeah, well, it's computers, man.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? It's every time I turn around, and we're surrounded by them anymore, so you got to figure out what the hack is for each individual computer. And the hack that allows us to go on Facebook Live seems to be working this morning. We're also on YouTube Live if you prefer to watch us that way, or if even there's other methods. We got a bunch of different streams going out, including one that you can watch right there at the website, thepoint.gu on the World Wide Web. Interesting news stories that we've got floating around here this morning. I guess the Lieutenant Governor had to show up at the courthouse again yesterday and over at the police department.
Yes, yeah, that was for the fingerprinting last week. It was for the photo.
Okay, so I've got 2 different pieces of video for that. And get around to playing them. And I also have video. My buddy, I call him the commissioner, down in Agate, had a second Frank and Alicia sighting.
Oh, really?
There was a second. Yes.
Yeah.
It's getting to be like Bigfoot sightings, right?
Well, he said the big announcement is at the end of the week, so we'll see.
I'm told that there's going to be some kind of a rally this weekend.
Could be.
Could be, right? Yeah, because it seems to be more and more. There's every indication that they are moving in the direction of some kind of supporting some kind of a write-in campaign. I think emboldened, if you will, by the 76 Circle K survey, where people actually pay to get the coffee and then the little sleeve that goes on the coffee cup, and they came in second place to Lulian Guerrero on that.
They won't like the results of the UOG student poll, will
No,
they?
I saw that, and my first. I tell you what, this is a kind of cutthroat that I've become in the business world. My first instinct when I looked at that was, we need to send this to the people that are responsible for buying advertising for these campaigns, because your guys are starting to suck. They're starting to look like losers, and if you don't want them to look like losers, maybe you need to throw a couple extra dollars into the marketing mix so that people recognize, hey, guess what? These people are actually running for office, as opposed to, you get the kid from the University of Guam that asked a question, and the answer is, who? Never heard of who? They're running again? Get out of here. So there's that. And the mumbling I was making about different noises and things like that, I threatened yesterday to start lingering on a cold.
Yeah.
And the early this morning, about, 2:30, 3 o'clock, I got into that. I think I have to wake up to cough an awful lot. Ew. And you know what? Can I just tell you what really sucks about this? So I thought 10 years ago when I quit smoking cigarettes, that I would never have to worry about that kind of thing again. Right. That kind of waking up and hacking your lungs out in the middle of the night. And I haven't had a cigarette in 10 years. Yeah. What did I do in the middle of the night? Woke up and hacked my lungs out.
Hacking, yeah.
The heck is that about? Anyway, so there's the possibility, depending on what time the drugs kick in. Excuse me. Depending on what there's an actual button I can press here that will make it so you don't hear me cough, but I'm lazy that way. There's when the drug kicks in, I'm probably going to have to leave. Exactly. Because, the last hour of the program can get kind of confusing for everybody to begin with. Can you imagine how much more incredible it will be if I'm going through...
Once your histamines start to kick in?
Yeah.
Oh, so much fun.
Yeah.
Such a joy.
So I'm trying to remember the name of that movie. It's the one where see, now that's I've got it in my head. I can see it in my head. And the guy takes a couple of hits of acid or something like that.
No.
And they're driving to Las Vegas. He says, well, how much faster do I have to go because I want to be able to make it so that we can get to the hotel before this kicks in? The guy says, you have 17 minutes. Step on it, he says. Step on it. Listen, let's see if everybody else is healthy on the Facebook Live.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. Troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name.
And I'm glad to be here where you are. Nurse me through this, why don't you, Ismael? And there's Juanita waving at me this morning. John St. Nicholas, I love this. This is good morning, Mum, sir. DVD, Mum, sir. Lynn, Vince, Bora, Polino, good to have you there. Brad says, good morning, Ray and the gang. Switching to YouTube. Now, Brad, just understand, if you switch to YouTube, I might not be able to see your comments. Because of the hack that I had to do to get the Facebook Live thing on, I cannot see comments on Facebook Live. Technically, the third-party thing is still at work, so it's not allowing me to be able to see on the screen that you're going to be watching any of the comments. I can see them on Facebook Live, but in order for me to see the comments on YouTube Live, that means I have to have another window open. Another stream coming in. And as I said, lazy that way. There's Lady D saying, good morning, everyone. Randy Kruger's waving. Denise Mendiola is there. Denise Legaspi. Carissa Flores. Huffa Ted Lewis listening in the States. Anita Muffness with her Valentine's eyes. Hi, Jules Elmer and Jennifer Badar. Anita Santos and cousin Tommy Barcinas. Lil Cruz, Kate Garcia, Baltazar, Thad Mendiola. Sorry, Theseus Mendiola. Crystal Schnabel. Really, Crystal Schnabel? Nice to see you there. That's an interesting name. Ken Leon Guerrero says, where's my rate sheet? Mike, make sure that somebody sends Ken the rate sheet. Sorry about that. Felix Regis and Lillian Cruz saying, have a day, Ray, Kevin, and Michael. Happy Tuesday. Joe Flores, Simon Sanchez from the Consolidated Commission on Utilities got the Facebook going this morning. Joe Flores says, good morning, Ray and Kev. And Rico Blancaflor, Ken Leungura, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That's the movie. That's the movie. Thanks very much, Ken. It's amazing that you're able to read my parallel thoughts here. Yeah, Hunter Thompson is the name of the guy that's featured in that. Commissioner Roy Gamboa, Renee Ogo, Melissa Blas-Scheibel, and a whole gaggle of other people who are watching, but I cannot see their names, and that's cool. 888-8255 is the telephone number, and as we make our way into the program here this morning, as I said, it almost feels like a Bigfoot sighting. You get Frank and Alicia waving over at the Gagnon McDonald's yesterday, and then I got a WhatsApp yesterday afternoon from my bro Roy. And we'll talk with him about this to see what he was doing when he actually made that sighting of Frank and Alicia out there. I believe it was in Agate.
And where are the pictures?
Stand by one. Let me just hold this thing up on the Facebook Live. There it is. You get it, and did you see it? It's just like a Bigfoot sighting. The video is there, and then it's not there. There they are. They're by side of the road. They're and. Not as clear as the Zapruder thing, but exciting nonetheless. Exciting nonetheless. There they are on the side of the road. Hey, quick, hey, do something. I'm sorry. It's just a diggable, shareable moment here. We're all just kind of excited about this. Now, you actually had the chance to run into him. So what was that, public hearing, something like that?
Just after a public hearing. He was in a great mood, but he was hands up, waving me off. Nope.
He does the same thing to me. Does the exact same thing to me.
I think he does it to his phone when he sees me
gives me that kind of Ramon thing. No, it's okay, Ramon. You have a good time. Ramon this, Ramon that. Okay, I'll just 2 minutes. That's all I need to get some kind of a confirmation one way or the other from you. But I think he doesn't want to talk to me because he talked to me in 2011. And the guys found that audio, and now there's a criminal complaint has been filed against him. You remember, first it was a complaint that the lady did at the
and that's
civil service. Yeah, and then Troy, I guess, sent out an actual criminal complaint that somebody is supposed to be looking at. I don't know. So I can understand why he would wave me off, but you. Venerable broadcast journalist.
No, he's got something planned for sure. But he was in a great mood. He was laughing it off, and he did say that they were waving just to thank people for their support in the campaign.
What BS? That is just total incomplete. Get out of here with that. Oh, or just a continuation of all of the appreciation that we have shown since we lost the primary election 2 months ago. We're supposed to buy that. Do I have audio from the machine? Let's see if we can swing some audio. Now, Kevin is always in a position where he can snag some kind of audio. And I think when he saw Frank yesterday, he pressed the button on the phone and then got this live and, as far as I know, unedited response from Frank Uggan.
Good morning, good morning.
You know why I'm here.
As a matter of fact, you know why I'm leaving.
Can you give us anything?
Nothing at this point.
When?
As a matter of fact, by the conclusion of the week.
By the conclusion of the week, but right now? But the two of you were seen out in front of McDonald's this morning waving.
We're waving and saying hi to the people of Guam. It's a continuation of saying thank you for the support that we received in the past.
Everybody wants to know. No? End of the week.
He was walking away then waving his hands.
Yeah, no, I can almost see it as you chasing him around with the microphone. And just, hey, okay, listen, I got some other Frank Uggan things I got to get to. There's a person over there I have to show my continuous my appreciation for. So I don't have time for you. I don't have any sacred knowledge or sacred wisdom about what is going to be happening. All I can say is that some of my connects in and out of the world of politics indicate to me that there could be something like a rally this weekend. I have no other information. If you do, feel free to leak it at 888-8255. We've got the WhatsApp deal going. And you can hang things like that video and photographs at 988-5874. That's 988-5874. 4. So that, in my mind, is one of the interesting political gossip stories that we've got floating around. But the word politics came up in an unusual context yesterday, and we'll get that video up for you in just a few minutes. It is the video of Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio, who was apparently called back over to the courthouse for digital.
No, it was the completion of the process.
But didn't they already print him at the last one?
No. Actually, there's an error there. That he said last Wednesday that he just was photographed at probation, and he said he was not fingerprinted. And apparently the fingerprinting took place yesterday.
Okay, all right, and
because last week he said he was not fingerprinted.
Okay,
and yesterday he said he was,
and that was at
the Agana precinct.
No, I was going to say teachable moment.
Well, I guess we all learned something.
Did not seem to be very, very happy with the circumstance. I've got the video of that as well, and play it for you after the headline. Some other interesting things that are going on here. The press release that went out from the Chamorro Land Trust Commission yesterday, basically saying nothing to see here. Nobody did anything wrong. It's perfectly all right to give your sister leases on property that other people have been waiting for. It's not our fault. We've got the worst rules and regulations there ever were, and there's been decades of misinterpreting those, and we thought we were doing it right. We didn't know until somebody pointed it out that we weren't doing it right. But not doing it right is not the same as doing it wrong. There's no wrongdoing that we have discovered in our investigation and in this process. The delightful language here that they're using: there were 100 leases issued for the Barragata Heights lots between 1997 and April 2018. The current administration issued 57 leases between the years 2014 and 2018. Of these leases, it was revealed that one lease was issued to a staff member. How can that be allowed in the rules? 3 leases issued to staff members' relatives within the 3rd degree of consanguinity. In addition, news stories noted 2 leases were issued to those press. The press considered well connected to people in the government. Leases in each case were derived from a December 1995 application, which I think is going to be the justification for everything. Well, there was an application in December of 1995. Somebody stood in line, sacrificed by standing in line to get. We conducted an investigation into these leases along with a review of the entire CLTC program and policies. At the conclusion of the investigation, the commission could find no wrongdoing by the director, staff members, their family members, or those, quote, well-connected individuals who have the leases because they were following the policies in place at the time. And so these policies are so great, they're going to come up with some new ones that the legislature can ratify. Has anybody else over at the legislature found the 10-foot pole? Like Mike St. Nicholas had found it the other day. Said, yeah, we're not going to politicize this. And Regine has decided that she is going to
already politicized.
Yeah, it's already politicized. There's not much you can do. All you can do is just when you see Pika coming by the legislature, shut the doors.
She's got a tough job.
Nobody here. Did my hair. I can't come out. Just out of the shower. Come back later. You know, like when the witnesses come over the house. I'm sorry, it's 6:32. Maybe the drugs have already kicked in. I'm not sure. 6:32. I'm saying it's just Tuesday. I'm frisky. It's Bookham Day, right? It is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3. The Point, here's the deal, 888-8255 for telephone numbers. Leak me information at raygibsonshow@gmail.com. If it's something that is going to be visually spectacularly tantalizing and inviting, 988-5874. That's 988-5874. In the meantime, headlines from the Guam Daily Post with Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning. In-office voting began yesterday at the Guam Election Commission. Voters who will not be able to vote during the general election on November 6 can now vote. You have to go to the Election Commission office in the GCIC building in Agana, sign an affidavit stating you're not able to vote during the general election, which is less than a month away now. In-office voting will take place between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. weekdays through November 5th. Individuals who are not yet registered to vote have until October 26th to do so. The final tally is in for the tax amnesty program. John Camacho, the director of the Department of Revenue and Taxation, confirmed that $30.1 million has been collected out of the $35.2 million pledged by nearly 900 delinquent taxpayers. The total collected is $5.2 million short of what was pledged. Still, Camacho told the Guam Daily Post, "We are very happy with the results." In the beginning, he said, they anticipated between 20 and 25 million in amnesty collections, but they ended up collecting just over 30 million. Officials from the Guam International Raceway are calling on the community to show support for legislation that would grant a 50-year lease to the Guam Racing Federation to continue using its Chigo land and racetrack facility. Henry Simpson, general manager for Guam International Raceway, said the Federation's 20-year lease expired in May without options to extend. Senator Tom Atta has introduced Bill 342, which would extend the lease's raceway. Simpson urging supporters of the raceway to attend the hearing tomorrow to support renewal of the lease. He said the raceway is a facility that we want to finish building. He said it has had nothing but good things to do for the island. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
It's 6:34. That's iConnect time. They're the practical choice. Have you heard? Crazy plans they've got over there on push-to-talk and mobile and internet. To find out details, call them at 888-8888.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
There was before, but it went away. Some early morning traffic that I was looking at 10 after 6, but it seems to have all dried up. Right now, the only thing I see is a tiny bit of traffic around Dead Man's Curve that is going southbound Marine Corps Drive. Everything looks fine in 8, 10, and 16. Up north over by Anderson Air Force Base, nothing to snag you there. Nothing to snag you in front of Big Navy. Everything on 4 and 10 looks good. Everything on 8 looks good. I think now is a good time to get on the road. 6:36, that's right now. Traffic here on The Point.
What would you do with unlimited internet? With Docomo Pacific, the possibilities are endless. Docomo Pacific is throwing off the data caps so you can enjoy more of the things you love. Watch, stream, download, and play with no end in sight. Stop by any of our stores or check out DocomoPacific.com to learn more. Life becomes limitless with Docomo Pacific. Better together.
The Ray Gibson Show, your new News Talk headquarters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
It's 6:36 in the morning, the Ray Gibson Show. Until I usually say until it is not going to be anymore. I don't know if I've got the physical capability of making it all the way to 10 o'clock in the morning. So there's a very good possibility that I might bag at 9, so I can go and get some rest. That way, I can do an entire 4 hours when it gets to be tomorrow. That's at least that's the plan in my head when I was negotiating with myself when I woke up. 888-8255 is a telephone number. Some interesting things that we're playing around with. Literally playing around with is the idea of the Chamorro Land Trust Commission that had investigated the Chamorro Land Trust Commission. Which Ken LG on the Facebook Live makes a pretty good point. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe there should have been somebody else come through and conduct the investigation. Maybe it's possible if that had happened, they would have come up with some kind of different findings other than, nope, no wrongdoing here. Just we've got some lousy policies that were in place at the time, and that's why it looks like there are certain liberties that have been taken and certain improprieties that appear to the community. But don't worry, there's nothing to see here. Just keep moving along. What? Well, you don't have an application here for a lease. Shut up. Just keep going. Just keep moving along here. It's 638, 888-8255. And as I said, the other interesting thing, and God bless him for having the presence of mind to drive around with a recording camera almost the entire time, is my very close, very dear personal friend, Roy Gamboa. Good morning, Roy Boy.
Off a day, Ray.
Mr. Commissioner, so tell me about your Bigfoot sighting yesterday.
The Bigfoot sighting. Actually, that was right there in Essen, right around Dead Man's Curve.
In Essen.
Yes, sir.
Correct. What time did it happen?
So this was about 5:30 in the evening, and we were heading northbound to my buddy Denise place down there at Kaylee Grill, and saw Frank and Alicia on the side of the road.
Wait. Did you just make a plug for Kaylee Grill?
Of course.
They get. I'm told they got really good barbecue there.
You know, I looked at the tomahawk and I was like, man, interesting, but you know, it's a decent price, but never gone wrong. Every time we've eaten dinner there, it's been delicious.
Okay, yeah, I've seen people attack the tomahawk, and I'm kind of interested in doing the same thing myself. I get it. It's one of those things. I can't eat the day before, and I can't eat the day after because it looks like it's real calorie dense.
Yeah, skip lunch and get the nice big tomahawk or the porterhouse.
Send a bill to somebody later. So you're driving around Essen and just like two random people on the side of the road.
Yeah, of course, and you know, and obviously, you know, Frank is a recognizable man, and Alicia was right there, and they were thanking the people, waving at them right around the Dead Man's Curve, and you know, so whipped out the camera and was able to take a short video and a couple of photos with them waving on the side of the road.
Now, like in other Bigfoot sightings, I mean, did they appear startled by your appearance and the appearance of a camera? Did they run off into the boondocks?
No, not necessarily. No, actually, you know, they were waving. They thanked us as well as we were driving by, and we honked and waved back to them as well. No disappearance.
Nothing like that. Was Elvis there by any chance? Do we have a Bigfoot and Elvis sighting along at the same time?
Actually, no. Tupac might have been driving the car.
Tupac Shakur might have been driving one of the vehicles there. Right on. So what are you hearing? Because you're a plugged-in kind of guy, I'm sure there was some. Yeah, there's guys everywhere. Guys like you and I go because they think we know stuff, right? There's always somebody who says, "Well, what have you heard? What are you hearing? What's your spidey sense telling you?"
Spidey sense says that you actually are onto something with a big old thank you gathering towards the weekend.
Okay. Do we have any idea on the location where that might take place?
I'm gonna say it's in. I know it's in Agania. I believe
Kaylee Grill, perhaps.
I'd like the food from there. Maybe they'd be catering.
Right on. Now, do they still have their headquarters? Do they still got a sign up over at Sirena?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. I haven't driven by there in a little while.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you staying in touch and staying connected with the political scene. If you hear anything, you obviously know where to send it. And if you get any more pictures, now I don't know. It's possible they might be continuing their appreciation tour at a variety of intersections this morning. So listeners, keep your eye skinned. Be on the lookout for the Bigfoot, Elvis, Frank, and Alicia sightings this morning.
Perfect.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you pretty soon. Yeah, God bless. Oh, look, we 19 away from the top of the hour here, and that, as I said, is interesting because it throws fuel on the fire of speculation. I get it. There's a whole bunch of people, especially folks in the actual Democratic Party, that just bristle when I talk about things like this because they're like, "Come on, Ray, we had the primary election, and Lou and Josh got more votes than anybody else," and I'm like, I don't care. It will be interesting, and I think to the degree that there might be some history being made around here, it'll be fun to watch. And so I want to watch this process all the way through until we get to a point where Frank and Alicia say, "Yeah, you know what, guys, we were just kidding with that waving stuff. We're just trying to get under Lou and Josh's skin here. It's our payback for the kill death hit pieces that were floating around just prior to the election." All right, so there you go. 888-8255 is the telephone number. Could it be Maria Pangilinan from the Guam Election Commission? Good morning, Maria. How you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you, Ray Gibson. How are you?
You know what? I'm a little bit under the weather here this morning. I ran into a friend over the weekend, and she was coughing up a storm. I said, what's going on?" She says, "Well, I had the flu." I said, "That sounds terrible." She says, "Yeah, I just got out of the hospital." And I said, "You were in the hospital for having the flu?" And she said, "Yes." And I think it's possible she might have got something on me because now I've got my little coughing fits, and I got some congestion up here. Feel like I got Tom at his nose today. Know what I mean? Anyway, so but thank you for asking. I'll be all right. I think I just need some. You know what I want? I want corn soup. Where are they cooking good corn soup this morning? There hasn't been good corn soup on Guam since the St. Gills closed the place down. You remember?
How about Chodi?
Where?
Chodi.
Oh, Chodi. That's. I was thinking about someplace maybe around here where it'd be a little bit easier to get to. What do you think? Anybody going to be cruising by Chodi's? Grab a cup of soup and bring it by the radio station. That'll make me feel a whole lot better. Anyway, 6:44. In-office voting, right?
Mm-hmm.
That started yesterday?
It started yesterday, October 8th.
Did you have any customers?
23 of them.
Wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a busy day.
Yes, it was. And then last night we also had freezing official training for Manila and TD.
Uh-huh. So very busy, as the process goes forward between now and the general election, which is what, 26 days away?
Maybe, yes. 26 days exactly.
Okay, so so there's still time to conduct some of that training. And if you know you're not going to be here on the 6th of November, then it's vital that you go to the actual election commission, and you need to bring with you identification and a $100 bill and your firstborn child.
Just a photo ID.
Just a photo ID. That's all that's going to be required.
Yes, and you'll need to sign an affidavit letting the people of Guam know why you cannot go to the polls.
Well, I mean, what are the valid excuses?
You're going to be off island, your physical disability, your work prevents you from coming there between 7 o'clock in the morning and 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so if I was, I mean, if it was like Mike, and I said, Mike, I need you to be at the radio station all day long on election day, he could go in and do the paperwork now.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
But you as the employer, you're required to give him 2 hours off.
Well, then what? He would have no excuse.
That's right.
Huh. Okay. All right. I'll ponder it a little bit more. But there are going to be people that will necessarily be off island, and so if that's you that we're talking about, you can go. What time do the doors open for in-office voting?
8 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock.
Okay. Just bring a photo ID with you. When's the next meeting of the actual Guam Election Commission?
Thursday. This coming Thursday. I believe it's October 11th.
Yeah, and the question is, what is it that you guys are going to be talking about at this meeting? Is there anything else that Ken and Andrea brought up that needs to have some direction on it?
Yes, one of them, I think it was Andre that asked for the names, and I know that there's been a challenge. They want all 7 of them to be there to discuss it. Hopefully, our commissioners will all be there this Thursday at 7. We will also look at the oral arguments that would have been presented that early morning. Our legal counsel will be going to attend in Hawaii, and our co-legal counsel will be there to let us know what happened.
What case are you hearing in Hawaii?
The oral arguments are being heard, the appeals in Honolulu on the Arnold Davis case.
Oh, yes, okay.
That's this. It's scheduled for Wednesday in Honolulu.
Yeah, I got a note from the governor's office that that's going to be viewable online, starting at 5:30 Thursday. Guamanians can watch the Davis versus Guam oral arguments that are taking place at the U.S. courts for the Ninth Circuit in Hawaii. The case filed against the government regarding the plebiscite that many people on Guam, including Governor Calvo and members of the Guam Commission on Decolonization, have been working towards. Attorney General Elizabeth Barrett Anderson, Deputy Attorneys General Ken Orcutt, and Fred Nishihara will be attending, while Special Assistant Attorney General Julian Uggan will be arguing the case.
Mm-hmm. And our legal counsel there will be there, too, because we are one of the defendants.
Right. Okay. Well, interesting conversation that's going to take place. So they're going to do that on Thursday morning. You guys get together for the meeting on Thursday night, and then there will be some kind of explanation of what took place in the courtroom and what the next steps are going to be.
That's correct.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Well, listen, I've taken up too much of your valuable time already. I'm going to let you run and want you to have a fantastic day and enjoy all of the in-office voting that's going to be taking place. So the rules on the general election for Democrats, it's November 6th, and for Republicans, it's November 7th, right?
No, it's Tuesday, November 6th for everyone.
Frisky today. Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging my frisky behavior. I'll see you pretty soon. Maria Pangilinan from the Guam Election Commission, and a couple of those big stories. As she said, they are defendants in the case, so members of their legal representation are going to be in Hawaii, eggs and things, for a little bit. Governor Calvo encourages the community to watch the hearing. I've strongly advocated for the right of the native people of Guam to choose for ourselves our political future. I hope that our community is able to watch the hearings. Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio says he is confident in the AG and her team of attorneys. This case is a big deal for our island. This lawsuit lodged against our local government would keep our island in the status quo, where we have no true control over our political destiny. Please join us as we watch and pray that we are able to bring this issue to resolution. Governor Calvo has provided funding for the Guam Office on Decolonization, and under the Calvo-Tenorio administration. Okay, it's starting to get spinny. Let me just do something else with that. 888-8255. What's that? Make Conception. That's us and family will be off island. Go and get the in-office voting. Doesn't cost anything to do. Frank Akfaji chiming in on Facebook Live here this morning. Valerie Lynn Maigi, who has probably been giggling all morning long at my comparisons between Bigfoot, Elvis, and Frank and Alicia. Somebody had mentioned that it's starting to sound a little bit like Coast to Coast. Yes, it does sound a little bit like Coast to Coast. Buddy Mark Cruz is there. Pretty Ashley Calvo Rodriguez. Vivian Sablon is there. Hoffa Dave Duenas. Elmo Cotton says, I'm watching. I'm watching you too, buddy. And Rico Blancaflor, Denise Legaspi. What was she saying? Big shout out to the employees at Bubbly Tea Cafe. All three locations. Apparently, there was some kind of party that we weren't invited to that took place over at her house, and there was bubbly tea goodness everywhere.
Yeah, any company that has a name like Bubbly Tea is worth celebrating.
You just know it's fun. Zena Latour, and just a note here: have you ever noticed that there are no ugly girls named Zena?
True.
There's just a girl named just absolute knockdown, drag out gorgeous. I see Dave Evans there, Lynn Perez, Eunice Mendiola, Mers Greeno, and Ken LG. Like I said, he chimed in. Carmen Leon Guerrero and Mark Mendiola, May Conception, Big Sister Shelly Gibson is there. Carmen Leon Guerrero watching this morning as well as Adonis Quito Mendiola. And interesting conversations around the table last night about, I can't eat that. I'm on the keto diet. And you know, after a couple of vodkas, people don't care so much. I think today's a cheat day.
I think you can eat just about anything you want on a keto diet.
Jeff Pleadwell is there, and Amanda Shelton. This is one of my favorite lines from an old TV show. With a rather brusque actress who was playing a waitress in there, and pours a cup of coffee into the cup, and the lady says, "Is this regular or decaf?" And she says, "Well, what do you want?" She says, "Decaf." She says, "Well, then it's decaf." But bubbly. Now, my daughter likes to go to Bubbly Tea. Actually, my daughter likes all of them.
Yeah.
If it's someplace where she can get a beverage that people used to give you for free if you didn't want a soda or milk, for $5, yeah, that's what she wants. And she likes it with it. They get these little balls in them.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what the whole bubbly part was about.
I don't know. There's things that made a tofu or something like that. But the thing, it kind of makes me. I'm from the old school, where if it's not ice, you don't put anything else in it because it could be a bug, right? You know, I mean, how many? I remember drinking milk every once in a while, and you'd get your hands on milk that had gone bad, right? And so you take a big swig of it, and number one, it's sour, and number two, it's got whey already in it. So you just kind of spit that out. And it's the same thing. Whenever somebody gives me one of those teas that has got stuff on the inside of it, there's a mental thing that I can't get past. There was we were after the Coast 360 race. They had this. It was a coffee drink.
Yeah.
And I had not yet had my coffee, and I was really enjoying it. But they put chunks of like aloe vera or something in there, and I'm like, this is no. Is there anybody else here from the '60s that has coffee that I might be able to get? So I know that there's no bugs or anything like that. Richard Arroyo wants to know when the first pickings will be from the pugwa trees that they brought over from Uncle Carl's. The pugwa trees are in the back of the house right now, and they're in a place where they get just enough sunlight, but not too much, and where it's easy for me to remember when I pass by. To hose them down and give them, because betel nut trees are hydrophilic. They like the water. And so I'm trying to figure out where I can put them in the yard where they'll always get some kind of water. There's a leaky GWA pipe around. So I think I'm going to put them there. But what is that, 7 years or so before a betel nut tree starts flower? You don't know.
Yeah, beats me, man.
6:54 in the morning. Somebody will know. 888-8255 is the telephone number around here. Let me just get it back into the table of contents. And Kenny Williams talking about great burgers at Bubbly Tea up in G. Is it today's free advertising day? Apparently. Is that what's going on? I got Roy talking about Kaylee's, and I got everybody getting me to talk about Bubbly Tea and the great burgers and the teas that they got in there.
I think it started yesterday with the report of Frank and Alicia waving outside of McDonald's.
McDonald's, yeah. All right. Well, let me throw out a couple more here. Congratulations to the guys over at Olive Garden. Apparently had a soft opening last night, and here's you know what? If you're going to have a soft opening that you're not inviting everybody to, can you just remind everybody as they walk in not to take pictures and post them up on social media? Because I'm looking at these pictures like, hey, Olive Garden, and I'm going, wait a second, what's up, Jason? What's up, Rich? No. What do I not take care of you guys anymore? Right? Did I not give you free advertising on the IHOP? Remember when they changed it to B-Hop?
That's right.
Right? Yeah. I hooked you up, and all of a sudden there's a soft opening, and you know what it is? My invitation's probably still in the mail. It's at Richmond, California. That's what's going on. Kev, did you get an invitation to the grand opening of Olive Garden or the soft opening?
But today's the big day. We got an invitation
today's the
for
grand opening.
That's right.
It's the actual grand opening of the place, but it's the soft opening. That's the big celebrities and everybody eats free night. So I'm wondering what the heck happened. You know, it's not like I could go anyway because I'm a little under the weather. I needed to do my hair, so that's why I didn't go. No, I got the invitation. I just didn't go. That's it. That'll help me sleep tonight. But congratulations. We're all absolutely delighted that there is an Olive Garden here on Guam after so many years of people asking for those kinds of things. So what's the next one that they're talking about bringing in? It's the seafood place.
Oh, Red Lobster.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me maybe we'll get an invitation to the soft opening of the Red Lobster when they open that
we
up.
have an Outback here, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we just about got it all covered. What else do we need?
You know, I've pondered this before on many occasions, and while I absolutely love the idea that we've got all of these franchises that are coming in, you know, big military population that's going to be growing here on Guam. We got a great local population and tourists from all over the place that want to taste of American high flying cuisine.
Right.
But every once in a while, I get to thinking, it's not so much that I want the new, as much as every once in a while I get a craving for the old. Now, I'm going to throw out a couple of names here, and you won't know what I'm talking about, but just find some guys. You start talking about restaurants like the old Galleon Grill at the Hilton.
It sounds like a cool place.
Oh, yeah. Well, it didn't really have a festive, seafaring theme. It was like eating, in some high quarters. It was very, very nice. Very, very classy restaurant that they had there. There was a place over at the Okura called the Flamboyant. Okay. Which I would love to have back. Flamboyant was the best first date restaurant in the history of first date restaurants on Guam, and the only place, and I think still, where you could get a supreme lobster thermidor, right?
Wow.
And
okay.
they had a guy that played piano in there. Mm-hmm. Every song in the world. Just every song in the world. You could go to him, make a request for anything. I mean, he knew it. Filipino love songs, Japanese songs. Just, I mean, the guy was really good. And for a little bit more pedestrian taste, yeah, we got to mention Cool Spot as well. Nick Perlowski says we need a Red Robin. Jennifer Louise Dulla's checking out. Jess Limtiaco and having Ken on every day and talking about their campaign, giving them free airplay. Do you think that's what's going on? Well, look, the guy calls. I'm not going to not take the time to call the radio station and get to go on the air. It's as simple as that. You don't like it, call the radio station yourself and say, there's enough out of Ken. Here's my editorial contribution. Here's my 2 cents worth. That's the way talk radio works. 988-5874 if you've got any more fun videos and things like that you want to play around with. In the meantime, we're closing in on the 7 o'clock hour. Jerry Roberts, you get 2 doses of Jerry Roberts today. He's going to be doing the extra point a little bit later on. And you can also find him in today's Guam Daily Post in the editorial section, where he is doing a thing about what is it? Hold on a second. I wrote it down. Building a new wake-up routine. And in it, he talks about the power of taking a cold shower every morning. Whoa. Only after typhoons is when this particular voice takes a cold shower. But he makes a good point about some of the reasons why you might want to explore that. That's in the print version of Jerry Roberts, the radio version of Jerry Roberts at about 7:20 this morning. In the meantime, the radio station is KUSG Hagutnia. My name is Ray Gibson, and we'll be back after Fox News. Kevin Kerrigan with a look at all the big stories. That's ahead on The Point.
Second state of emergency over Hurricane Michael. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Alabama's governor just following in Florida's footsteps as the storm that was only named yesterday barrels north in the Gulf of Mexico, heading for the Panhandle.
Hurricane Michael poses a deadly threat, and as it grows stronger, we can expect it to make landfall as a major Category 3 storm on Wednesday along the Gulf Coast.
Florida Governor Rick Scott calls it a monstrous storm. Storm surge and heavy rain could also be a big problem further inland, so soon after the widespread flooding from Hurricane Florence. The latest advisory just in has Michael with top sustained winds of 80 miles an hour, a little over 500 miles from Apalachicola, Florida. President Trump reassuring Florida that FEMA is preparing for the storm. He's just arrived back in Washington for a special ceremony. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
2 hours from now in the East Room, President Trump will ceremonially swear in Brett Kavanaugh as the 9th justice on the U.S. Supreme Court. He praised his nominee earlier today, speaking at a police chiefs convention in Orlando.
Just 2 days ago, the Senate confirmed a supremely qualified nominee who will be a faithful defender of the rule of law.
The ceremony follows perhaps the most contentious confirmation battle for a Supreme Court nominee in history. Kavanaugh will hear his first case on the High Court tomorrow. Lisa?
Thanks, John. Federal investigators in upstate New York, where a limo crash over the weekend killed 20 people at an intersection with a history of vehicles running a stop sign and ending up in a store parking lot.
It used to be as you come down the hill, the road veered off to the left instead of the 90-degree angle that it intercepts 30A now.
NTSB Chair Robert Sumwalt moments ago, the limo had failed a state inspection last month and the driver wasn't licensed for that kind of vehicle. This is Fox News.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
One of the longest-running primary care clinics on Guam, the FHP Health Center, has been your convenient one-stop healthcare clinic for you and your family for many generations. FHP's highly trained and well-known medical, dental, and vision providers and their friendly clinical support team are here, ready to take care of you. In addition to the excellent care, FHP offers a full-service pharmacy, laboratory, radiology, and specialty care center in one location. FHP Health Center, our island, your clinic. Most insurance accepted, including Netcare, Aetna, and TRICARE.
On his way to Florida earlier today, the president had a meeting on Air Force One with Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who's been under pressure recently because of a published report.
The New York Times said that Rosenstein last year was trying to garner support for using the 25th Amendment to take out President Trump, even suggesting to one colleague that maybe he wear a wire to get some incriminating evidence on the president. It looked in the beginning like Rosenstein was done. He came to the White House the Monday after that article came out, expecting to be fired. Rosenstein strongly denied the allegations on at least 2 occasions, said he did no such thing, and the president does seem inclined to believe him.
Fox's John Roberts at the White House. Meantime, the president's message to law enforcement is that his administration has their back, also pledging today to address the persistent deadly violence in Chicago. A South Carolina officer killed in the line of duty during a standoff with a gunman last week is laid to rest.
Tributes came from those Sergeant Terrence Caraway knew.
Let me live for others so that I might live like thee.
And those he mentored into law enforcement.
I stand before you, not a product of my environment, but a product of his vision.
Sergeant Caraway was killed last week protecting other wounded officers from a gunman in Florence, South Carolina. Darlington County Sheriff Tony Chavis was among the officers who saluted Caraway for his sacrifice.
We're bridge builders for our community. We need to be here to serve our citizens, and that's what Terrence did.
Caraway was a 30-year police veteran who leaves behind a wife and son. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Late reports that one of the 2 men Britain says poisoned an ex-Russian spy with a nerve agent is a doctor who works for Russian military intelligence. Russia still denies any involvement in the poisoning. Mixed start to the week on Wall Street. The Dow up 39 points. I'm Lisa Brady, and this is Fox News.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
There's a reason every day a Guam homeowner is getting a solar system installed by Micronesia Renewable Energy. It's because MRE is the most trusted name in solar. With more solar energy solutions than any other solar company on island, homeowners have a choice to go solar for 0 money down or take the path to ownership. Whichever way, it keeps our skies blue and your pockets green. And with the most experienced solar technicians and an energy production guarantee, there are no worries. Call 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, the smarter choice.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Morrico Equipment on Ipoh Road has been around a while. 28 years on Guam, in fact. 28 long years of dealing with Gov Guam, persevering through typhoons, earthquakes, the U.S. military, booney dogs, booney grass, off-island, on-island, old Marine Corps drive, destructive winds, and dangerous surf. So they know a bit about equipment on Guam. Lucky for us, the employees who work at Morrico Equipment also own Morrico Equipment because they're very proud of what they do. Call 649-1946 or click morricoequipment.com.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 7 a.m. this Tuesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The federal government has denied Governor Calvo's request for aid to help island families who suffered damage to their homes during Typhoon Mangkhut. The denial means no federal assistance will be available to help pay for the property damage as a result of the typhoon which passed over the Mariana Islands on September 10th. The Calvo administration immediately announced that it would appeal the decision. The damage reported by the administration on September 21st in its request for a major disaster declaration did not qualify Guam for the Federal Emergency Management Agency's individual disaster assistance program. That, according to a release from Adelup yesterday. The release did not say how much in total damage had been reported to FEMA. Governor Calvo says he has directed Guam Homeland Security and the Office of Civil Defense to work with local and federal partners to gather additional data to help meet the threshold necessary to qualify for federal aid. Guam has already qualified for federal aid under FEMA's Public Assistance and Hazard Mitigation programs, which only apply to public facilities and government infrastructure. The administration has until November 4th to submit its appeal. The Chamorro Land Trust Commission has cleared Department of Land Management Director Michael Borja of any wrongdoing in connection with the Veragata Heights land leases. Some of the leases were issued to certain well-connected government officials and to certain land management employees or their relatives, including a relative of Borja's. Borja oversees the CLTC, which is part of the Department of Land Management. A release from the CLTC yesterday states that the commission conducted an investigation into the leases and found no wrongdoing by the director, the staff members, their family members, or those well-connected individuals who received CLTC leases. The commission found that they were following the policies in place at the time. The CLTC review notes that of the 57 leases issued between 2014 and this year, only one was issued to a land management staff member. 3 were issued to relatives of land management staff members. The release goes on to explain that when the Guam Power Authority cleared a part of an easement in Veragata Heights earlier this year, the director took advantage of that by asking DPW to clear the rest of the easement in order to reach CLTC properties that had been inaccessible since the program began. Clearing that easement, they found, provided access, which meant that the leases could finally be issued to those properties. We'll have more news after this.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
11 minutes past 7 a.m. here at The Point. The final tally is in for the tax amnesty program. John Camacho, the director of the Department of Revenue and Taxation, confirmed that $30.1 million was collected out of the $35.2 million pledged by nearly 900 delinquent taxpayers. The total collected is $5.2 million short of what was pledged. Still, Camacho told the Guam Daily Post that they're very happy with the results. In the beginning, he said they anticipated just 20 to 25 million would be collected, but in the end, they collected 30 million in back taxes, a lot more than expected. The amnesty applied to all unpaid income taxes, business privilege taxes, and real property taxes. All penalties and interest were forgiven if the total amount due was paid in full during the amnesty period, which ended September 28th. Guam International Raceway General Manager Henry Simpson calling on the community to show support for legislation that would grant a 50-year lease to the Guam Raceway Federation to continue using the CLTC land it occupies in Jigo as a raceway facility. Public hearing will be held tomorrow at the legislature to hear testimony on Senator Tom Atta's Bill 342, which would authorize the extended lease with the Racing Federation. Federation's 20-year lease expired in May without an option to extend. Simpson is urging supporters of the raceway to attend the hearing tomorrow to support the renewal of the lease. He says the raceway is a facility that we want to keep that has done a lot of good for the island, he said. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now. Take a look at the weather.
Here it comes. Partly sunny and very warm. Isolated showers and thunderstorms are in the forecast. Winds out of the east up to about 15 miles an hour today. Highs 89 degrees. Expected overnight lows should be about 78 degrees. Sunset tonight 6:05. Getting earlier and earlier. Sunrise this morning at 10 minutes after 6 o'clock. It's 7:13. Anything else that listeners need to know about the weather there, Mike?
There's really not much going on, man. It should be a real nice end to the week as we wrap up the last 3 or 4 days.
End of the week, you're already thinking about Friday.
I am already, I'm Saturday bound.
Because he got some early partying in yesterday with Blake. Next hour, remind me to talk about your opportunities for sin yesterday.
Okay.
Watching some football.
Yes, sir.
And speaking of sinners, who am I supposed to hate in the McGregor fight?
Wow, I don't even know. I'm not a big fan of McGregor, only because he's just a little too cocky for my liking.
Yep.
But the guy's good. The other dude, undefeated and still undefeated as far as I know. So there you go.
All right, appreciate it. I'm sorry, it's an early traffic note of interest to Kevin and Ray Gibson. Ugin Limtiaco waving at Micro Mall intersection. Unfortunately, he says
pictures.
This particular listener did not get a picture, but if you're lurking in the area, whip it out and grab a picture and WhatsApp it to the radio station 988-5874 988-5874. No, I want to see what she's wearing. That's all. It's 7:14. That's news and weather together here on The Point.
Docomo Pacific is making the Better Together bundle even better. 2 great services plus more. Get unlimited local calls, SMS, and 20 gigs of data, plus unlimited home internet for $109 a month. Sign up today and get free installation and choose between a free Galaxy S8, S8 Plus, or $100 off select devices. Mobile plus online from Docomo Pacific. Better together. Some conditions apply. See store for details.
I see you 7:15 in the morning. Go to have lunch at King's today. Talking about all these different restaurants and everything, and everybody says, "Oh, we need to bring Shakey's back because Shakey's cool, and they have pizza and fried chicken, and Mojo potatoes. That would be cool." And I'm thinking, hey, but you know what? They got food over at King's that I've loved for the last 40 years. You remember that big old Simon bowl that you'd go in there and try to head off a hangover with back in the olden days? Yeah, I think they still do that. Today, different lunch specials, and today the big lunch special is Bissteak Chamorro for lunch at King's.
Calvo started with a simple handshake. As we celebrate 80 years, we extend a hand to all of you who have taken our hand in trust, to the dreamers and realists, the families, the businesses, the young at heart, and the old souls, our manumku and our children. From all of us to all of you, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
Ray Gibson Show brought to you by our friends over at First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with, yes, Micronesia Renewable Energy. Never been a better time to go solar. The guys over at Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your open heart surgery needs. APL, that's American President Lines. They're shipping the future, and American Water Tech. Smarter water, better water.
Ray Gibson brings you closer to the action. Watch and listen live on thepoint.gu.
That's nice. Chipotle's, Mark Cruz says. We were asking about what's left. What are the other big restaurants that we need to start courting to bring to Guam? And he likes that one. And then my friend Lynn, who doesn't really care about food, says we need a Walmart. Guam should have a Walmart or something like that. And Ismail says, Lynn, no Walmart. Then you'll have all the weirdos coming out. Settle for a Target or a Target, as fancy people call it. And
did those stores all bring out the same kind of people? So it's about the same.
Yeah, actually, I think our Kmart. I don't know that we would have, because you don't see Kmartians here. At least I don't.
Yeah.
And it's not. Yeah, it's not. Anybody who knows me knows it's not one of my frequent places, right? But when I do go, I generally don't have a problem with any of the other customers. Nobody there really strikes me as odd. I wish they'd move faster through the aisles.
Yes.
Right. That would make my life, because we're boys. We're stealth shoppers. We go in. If I need pillowcases, right? So I go to camp. I know where they keep the pillowcases. Yeah. I want to go right to it and get my pillow and then leave.
Yeah, guys don't shop. We buy.
Exactly.
It's a much different experience.
But everybody else is just kind of lollygagging, just kind of, hey, Sunday driving through the aisle. Okay, wide load, move it. It says, Rayman, didn't get an invitation from Rich either. I guess we're Patgun Mudzuti now. And Joe says, yeah, bring back the shakies and all of that. Well, I was supposed to do something, right? Are we in that part of the program where I'm supposed to actually do something relevant and meaningful? Sorry, I'm distracted. I see Melissa Salas, Akimoto there, Desiree Braga, Jeff Jones. Hey, Jeff. Listen, I got two of the car guys here. I got Jeff Jones and Derek Muña-Canata is lurking as well. Renzo Osborne, Evelyn Uggan there, Ed Karen Untalan, Jess Limtiaco, Dan, Anita, Ganji Cruz. Getting a lot of names here. 7:18 in the morning. Great to have you along for the ride. Let me, as I say, do something meaningful and relevant. I actually forgot to do this yesterday, but that's all right because it was just Monday prices. The market did open and close today. The S&P 500 off by about a point, 2,884. NASDAQ at 7735. They're off by 52 points. Dow Jones Industrial Average is still moving up, but very slowly, 26,486. They've had some up and downs recently. The FTSE is off. The Nikkei is going to open in the red this morning. Hang Seng at 26,202 in the Shanghai Index. All of the Asian markets seem to be down this morning. Looking at the yen, I think we're at 113 to the U.S. dollar. You remember, I used to do a yen report every single day. Because, at the time, that's where all of the tourists came from. And you could see, if there was a wide enough fluctuation in what was happening with the Japanese yen, you could see that. I mean, it had an impact on arrivals and spend back in the olden days. But anymore, as few Japanese as we're getting these days coming in, the amount of money they have to spend to buy a dollar doesn't seem to make all that much difference anymore.
Yeah, we might have to start doing a Ruble report.
Which one?
Ruble.
Ruble?
Yeah, the Russians are coming. They're here.
Have you seen them?
In Kmart.
How do you know they're Russians?
They speak funny.
Oh.
And they're all blonde-haired and blue-eyed.
There we go. We'll see. There's more to the conversation there. At one point, we'll explore it. I don't know about the rubles. I know we'd love to see more Russians around here, and for a lot of different reasons, is because if you remember, Kevin will, when they would come, they stay here for weeks, right? They're in the market, and they're going to be here 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. And
they've never really gone away. Their numbers have dropped precipitously.
Yes. Well, I know that there's still Russians, but not in the same kind of numbers. We were watching the numbers gradually improve, and there were a lot of people that started looking around for people that spoke and wrote in Russian so that we could get signs made in front of. And there was even a Russian restaurant down in Tumon for a little bit. I remember that. And that one went away awful fast. I recognize, I know that they haven't all completely gone. It's just that after Putin got into the scrap with Obama over Crimea, then everything dried up. And I kind of hope that that bromance between Putin and Trump would have gone somewhere, so that we might get a little bit of softening of that and maybe more visitor arrivals from Russia. We'll see what happens. 7:21, and the
Trump
other numbers.
Show more gratitude.
What? What?
The Trump should show more gratitude.
There's other things that I want from Trump. I'm deeply disappointed that I'm not going to be able to replace any of the food that I lost in my refrigerator as a result of the power going out during Typhoon Mangkhut.
Oh, true.
So there's that. Of course, anybody that knows me knows the only thing in my refrigerator is beer and Tide Pods. That's the only thing I keep in there anymore. 7:22 in the morning. A couple of other numbers to look at. $74.24. That's where West Texas crude is here today. And last week on Friday, you might remember Tapas was trading at $89 and a nickel. It is not trading at $89 and a nickel. It's off by about 50 cents or 55 cents from there. $88.43 for Tapas crude. So those numbers are definitely going up. I hate to say it, but I'm predicting a pinch at the pump. Just don't know when it's going to happen. Just don't know when it's going to happen, but you know it's going to be there. So whenever you get down to Ever-Ready, don't wait. Put some gasoline in the car at the relatively lower prices that we've got today. At 7:22, that's what's happening in the different markets that I like to look at. If you want me to include a market from time to time, just send me a link to it or a mention on the WhatsApp at 988-5874 or on the Facebook Live or the YouTube Live. At 7:22 right now, Jerry Roberts and today's Extra Point.
Let me ask you a personal question. Are you right now not as successful as you think you should be or could be? Okay, now close your eyes and bring into focus the face of the person who is most responsible for where you are in your career and life in general. I'm Jerry Roberts, and today you and I need to talk to that person on the Extra Point. Sometimes people get to a place in life, stop and look around at their career, finances, responsibilities, prospects for the future, and say to themselves, how the heck did I get here? I was going to pitch for the Dodgers. I was going to be a travel photographer. I was going to build a big company and be a leader. I was going to help people and change the world. So what happened? We didn't have a real plan? Or if we did, we jumped the tracks and maybe veered off in another direction. We made choices that changed our lives. Eventually, we settled in, raised families, and set new priorities. The dreams we had are distant memories. Once in a while, we read something or hear a song that will slam time into reverse for a few minutes, and we'll think about who we were and what we wanted to be. Maybe for that few minutes, we think it could still be possible. And then the little voices will start singing their familiar tunes. I have no time. I hear this so often, and I've said it myself. I've worked 60-hour weeks, many times more, for 4 decades, have family responsibilities, and yet I've met people whose schedule made mine look like a day at the beach, and those people found the time to change their lives and recapture their dreams. I have no money. Today, access to a computer, a phone, and the internet may be all you need to get started. I'm too old. John Houseman started acting at age 71 and then won an Oscar. Nobody cares about how old you are these days. They care about how you think and what you can deliver. I'm an introvert. You're not alone. About half of people are. It can make you nervous, and it can be a challenge, but countless people have overcome it, and you can too. I can't write well. Okay, neither can I. English teachers would put enough red on my stuff to make it look like a crime scene. We live in a time when people are more forgiving. If your words get the point across, they won't worry so much about the grammar. Thank God. I'm overwhelmed. Well, tell me who isn't. How do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time. Keep things simple and get started. When you can handle more, take on more. People don't like me. Well, then be more likable. I'm afraid. We're all afraid. Some of us mask it in apparent cloaks of confidence, but we hear those voices too. So stop listening to them and just get to work on changing your life. Nobody says you have to neglect your family or end friendships. Know what you really want. Plan. Take baby steps at first if needed, and push yourself to where you know you need to be. That's the Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today. For 93.3 and the Ray Gibson Show, I'm Jerry Roberts.
There's some great advice in there, and as usual, what we want you to do is go to GuamTraining.com on the World Wide Web and download it. You know, for some people, a couple of minutes of Jerry Roberts just isn't enough, and that's why on Tuesdays, if you pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post, you will find a contribution from Jerry Roberts in there in his workforce role here. It's called Building a New Wake-Up Routine that involves the idea. I don't want to steal too much of the thunder here, but it involves the idea of you jumping into a cold shower. It says, follow that, do this exercise, 20 to 30 minutes of vigorous exercise, blah, 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 eat a breakfast, blah, 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 blah. Follow that with a cold shower. And if you can't handle cold right away, start with warm, move to cool, then cold. Get at least a couple of minutes of cold water on your body. Gradually build that up until you're ready to go cold from the very first drop. Are you shaking your head saying, no way I'm doing that? Yes, it's a shock to immediately be hit with cold water, but that only lasts a few seconds as your body quickly adapts to the temperature. Trust me, adding cold water makes a difference. Get past any mental block you have about it. You'll feel incredibly refreshed when you're finished. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it.
I had to do it for quite some time.
Yeah.
In the Philippines, yeah.
Because?
They didn't have hot water. My wife didn't. Most people don't.
So they take a cold shower every day?
Cold shower, yeah. That's what happens.
I know of somebody that purposely built a house without a hot water heater, and it always surprised me when I'd see him and he'd still be married to the same person. I thought, that in and of itself ought to be something like grounds for divorce. 7:27 in the morning. So there it is, a couple of doses of Jerry Roberts for you. Coming up, more headlines, and it occurred to me as I was thinking about it. I'm sorry, I'm remiss. I'm distracted today because I've got the Dayquil that's seeping around my systems right now, and I promised I was going to play the video of Ray Tenorio after the headlines last hour. Tell you what, I'll make it up to you by playing it after the headlines this hour. At 7:28 in the morning, this is the Ray Gibson Show. I got headlines and traffic on the way.
The first ever of anything is always special. That's why we're excited about the first ever 2018 Nissan Kicks. The Kicks kicks things up with best-in-class MPG, standard safety technology with automatic emergency braking system, and best-in-class cargo space to meet any lifestyle. Upgrades kicks things up with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Bose driver headrest speakers. Over 1.4 million colorful options means your Kicks can be a first ever of its kind. The Kicks starts at under $20,000. Visit Nissan Guam for a test drive today. Nissan, innovation that excites.
It's 7:29 on the program. Brad Hewitt back on the Facebook Live. He was over on the YouTube Live, but there's nobody to talk to there. There are people watching, but I think it's a different experience. He says not only does the video look sharper, the audio is louder and no continuous buffering on a cell phone. Talk to your carrier there, buddy. 7:29 in the morning. Is there traffic now? Yes, there is. I'm looking at traffic happening southbound Marine Corps Drive, as you would expect here. That's happening up in Jigo around the schools. Dedido, as you get from the lower end of Jigo into about where Sangsong Road is. I got a little bit of northbound traffic after the Fatima Mobile and traffic coming out of Route 3 from Ustumbo, Ukadu, all the way to the intersection. Traffic is beginning to build. A little bit of traffic on coming out of Route 10 onto the 8, 10, and 16 intersection, and you'll also find a little bit of traffic around the Payless and KFC area on Route 4. Nothing major to tell you about down in Sumai or Big Navy and Naval Hospital and Anderson Air Force Base right now, so things look pretty clear. That's right now traffic at 7:30 on The Point.
The problem isn't just not being able to hear or understand, or having to tell people to speak louder. Sometimes the frustration is having to repeat yourself too many times, or speaking so loud you're almost shouting. At Guam Hearing Doctors, we understand that hearing problems affect both sides. One of our goals is to help your hearing for those around you. Call us at 989-TEST to learn more.
Don't see anything there, Doris. Doug Mitchell asking what's going on the back road. Don't see anything happening on the back road right now on the traffic gizmo. But let me see if there's another means that I have of surveilling what may or may not be happening. If you're stuck in traffic on 15, then let me know about it. 888-8255. That's 888-8255. If there's another accident out there, and I hope there isn't, 988-5874 if you're looking for someplace to send the video. Traffic coming out of the Tai area towards the intersection of 4 and 10 beginning to build up a little bit. I'm watching that. I got my eye on that. It's 7:31 right now, and time to jump into headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Hey, there's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from Daily Post this morning, Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio reporting to the Agana precinct yesterday afternoon with his attorney to complete the final processing on the misdemeanor reckless conduct charges that he is facing. Last week, Tenorio had to appear at the probation office at the Judicial Center for a photo. Yesterday, he was fingerprinted. Tenorio was met at the precinct by camera crews and reporters again. He said, "This has gone pretty much far enough." Tenorio said he respects the judicial process. He'll do whatever he's ordered to do by the court, but he suggested there is politics involved in all of this, and he said he was innocent of the charges against him. Superior Court Judge Benjamin Sisson ordered the processing at Tenorio's arraignment last Wednesday. Tenorio was not present at the arraignment, and his attorney, Tom Fisher, entered a plea of not guilty, asked for a jury trial, which has been scheduled for March 13th next year. Speculation continues to grow that the Democratic gubernatorial team that finished second in the August primary election has decided to relaunch its bid for Adelup by conducting a write-in campaign. Senator Frank Uggan Jr., his running mate, former U.S. Attorney Alicia Limtiaco, have been holding a series of waves in the past 2 days. Yesterday, they were in front of the Agana McDonald's in the morning. Later that day, they were waving at motorists in Petey. This morning, the Uggan Limtiaco team are out in front of the Micronesia Mall with another wave. The waving follows a video posted on the Uggan Limtiaco Facebook page last Thursday in which they defended their decision not to abide by the Democratic Party's unity pledge and suggested their support of a write-in campaign for Adelup. Guam Daily Post caught up with Uggan yesterday following a legislative hearing to ask if he has relaunched his campaign. The senator declined to comment on the question, saying there would be an announcement by the end of this week. Senator Uggan said he and his running mate, Alicia Limtiaco, were waving to say hi to the people and thank them for their support during the campaign. In-office voting began yesterday at the Guam Election Commission. Voters who will not be able to vote during the general election on November 6th can vote now. 26 voters took advantage of the opportunity yesterday, according to GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan on The Point this morning. She said you have to go to the Election Commission in the GCIC building in Agana and sign an affidavit stating you are not able to vote during the general election, which is less than a month away now. In-office voting taking place between 8 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon through November 5th. Individuals who are not yet registered to vote can still do so up until October 26th. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Ask and you shall receive. You don't know where I'm
picture.
going.
Yes, I do.
There's picture. We have art, ladies and gentlemen. We now have art of Alicia and Frank conducting their wave at what I like to refer to as the Chicken Joy intersection. That's where we're putting a Jollibees later on. And so there we go. You get now. There's. I want to point out something, and it is that chain link fence there got taken out by a drunk. I don't know, a year ago. Maybe 2 years ago, and I appreciate the fact that they are waving from there because it highlights the inability of the government of Guam to go out there and repair that. One of these days, there's going to be a little Korean kid that's going to fall off that on their way to the Micronesia Mall, and he's going to get run over by a car. Mark my words. And it's just a little bit of chain link fence, and they got to put up a couple more posts there. But I hope that Frank is keeping track and understands the easy DIY job that it would take to repair that particular intersection. But that's where they're waving there this morning. I have another more clear image that I'll show for you in just a second. And again, it fuels the speculation, as you say in that story, that there is going to be yet more of the fun and games and a write-in campaign that will be supported by these two candidates. There is Frank. There is Alicia. And I'll have this in your inbox here in just a few seconds.
I thank you, sir.
You're welcome,
They're not
sir.
carrying any signs, no supporters, on just the two of them alone. Is that right?
So far, huh?
How about that?
So far. Well, they're just showing their thanks,
Their appreciation. That's right. Yep.
That's all they're doing. They don't need 100 people behind you to show your appreciation. It's a very personal thing.
Of course.
I'll bet they're actually saying when the cars. I'll bet when the light's on, it's a red light. I bet they go out there and wipe everybody's window on the car because they appreciate their support so much. Frank digging into his pockets. Here's lunch money for the kids because I appreciate you so much. 7:36 in the morning, and that is the time from iConnect. They are the practical choice. Maybe you've heard they got great rates on mobile and internet and even push-to-talk plans. Give them a ring, 888-8888.
If you are looking to rent trucks, forklifts, or construction equipment, including Kohler generators, then contact Morico Equipment on EPOW Road, 649-1946, or click moricoequipment.com. Box trucks, reefer trucks, freezer trucks, flatbed trucks, tractor trucks, water trucks, forklifts, excavators, backhoes, loaders, skid steers, bulldozers, compact rollers, telehandlers, boom lifts, scissor lifts, diesel generators, air compressors, light towers, moricoequipment.com.
Portions of the program also brought to you by my friends over at Wendy's. They're your friends as well. I want you to try something brand new. They've got this fall salad, and it's got chicken in it, obviously, and then they just load in every flavor they've got. You ever make soup with just, whatever you've got in the refrigerator? You just throw all of everything together. Anyway, so that's kind of what they've done here. Fresh lettuce, crisp red and green apples, dried cranberries, and the perfect combination of applewood, smoked bacon, and crumbled feta cheese. But they're like, well, we need more flavors. What can we do? You know what? Let's cut into this with a little bit of apple cider vinaigrette, right? I know people gargle with red apple cider vinaigrette all the time, so you should try it as well. Brown sugar roasted walnuts are in there. This fall season, you fall for the Harvest Chicken Salad from Wendy's.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
22 away from 8 o'clock in the morning. Is that where we are here today? I still don't see anything happening on Route 15 on my gizmos. I am seeing traffic southbound again that seems to be building up between Jigo and Waisangsong and Dededo. Traffic coming off of Route 3, spilling onto Marine Corps Drive. That's going to take you a little bit longer. Traffic's now beginning to slow down into that particular intersection. Looking at some of the other intersections, 8, 10, and 16. No problem around Happy Mart. No problem by the gas stations. But you might experience a little bit of a delay as traffic is beginning to build northbound on Route 8 as travelers are making their way through there. You might see a little bit of a slowing and a building of traffic in Mangilao over by the Payless, and then again over by Ta'i and Father Duenas on the way to the intersection, and then a little bit through Ordot. I think there's a lot of people that are trying to turn into the village from over there, but not seeing anything else slowing you down, getting into Agana, getting to Navy Hospital or Big Navy in Sumai. So looking pretty good. Again, the big deal is the Chicken Joy intersection where you can see, and we're trying to parse as much information as possible out of these pictures, and thanks very much, Perla, for the one that you sent over here. There's no signs, there's no banners. He's wearing, I can't quite make out the T-shirt. I think it's looks like, I don't know, looks like an athletic T-shirt that he's wearing, and she's just got kind of office blue shirt going, right? Not a Believe outfit. No army of supporters behind them. It's just
so they're not wearing their colors.
It's just them being super appreciative. Yeah. Colors like warriors. I want to watch that movie again. 20 away from 8 o'clock in the morning, and that's right now traffic here on The Point.
We get it. Gas and utility rates keep rising with no end in sight. But with Double Play from GTA, you can get an extra sweet deal that'll save you extra cash. Sign up today and get 50 megabits per second with fiber home internet, unlimited talk and text, plus 25 gigabytes of wireless data. And new customers get the first month free with no contract. Save over $500 in the first year and get extra with Double Play from GTA. Conditions apply. Visit gta.net for more details.
Facebook Live opened up this morning. You can also watch us on YouTube Live, and all you got to do is go to YouTube and type in Ray Gibson or Ray Gibson Show, and it should pop up with all of the videos that I've got. Actually, there's videos in there of Bob Klitsky's show as well. We're still waiting to get credentials from YouTube to be able to put him on his own channel. But once that happens, you'll be able to just Google, not Google, but go to YouTube and search for Bob Klitsky and be able to find that. On the Facebook Live, I see Tina Rose Munya Barnes there, Terry DeBold, Tom Garcia. Hey, Tomas says, Havade Ray, if you haven't heard, I'm involved with the American Cancer Society's running for Real Men Wear Pink and need to raise funds and need your assistance getting the word out. So call me when you have a minute, please. Okay, I'll do my best for you. Otherwise, just PM me on Facebook. That'll work. Jose Martinez is there. Tedo is saying, the point, still the one. Deborah Wise, Gallo Perez, Rico Blancafor asking, is Believe a copyrighted slogan? U.S. Democrats are using it for their anti-Kavanaugh campaign. I don't think there's going to be much more. The anti-Kavanaugh campaign is getting sworn in here, and by President Trump, going to be doing the ceremonial swearing in if he hasn't already done it.
It's over.
We'll have that for you in the Fox News. And Deborah says, I think it was a Christmas movie that you might be talking about. And Tone Uggan is playing around on the Facebook Live as well. 888-8255 is the telephone number around here. As I'm fond of saying, 988-5874. If you've got something that is in your WhatsApp that you're going, oh, this is too juicy not to share. Please, can I share it with Ray Gibson and have Ray Gibson share it with the world? Absolutely. You absolutely can. As has been shared with me, and I want to make very clear. I get stuff all the time, and as soon as I get it, I start trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to put it in some kind of form or fashion where everybody can watch it. So among the things that got shared with me was video of Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio, and you can hear the exasperation. I think the story, as Kevin said, was last week. Got served, and then he sent the lawyer to the courtroom, and then they said, okay, well, let's go take pictures. So he got pictures taken. And yesterday was the fingerprinting. And the quote from the story on the fingerprinting is, what is it, Kev? Where's the newspapers? There it is. Wait, hold on. There's too many printed things around me. I found it. Tenorio. This has gone far enough, and now from Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio, here's the video from yesterday's get together. Stand by, queuing up. Big file. Yeah, probably could have done this earlier.
This has gone pretty much far enough.
Say it again.
I think this has gone pretty much far enough.
Did they give you an indication as to why you have to get a second set of fingerprints today?
Yeah, I guess there's some sort of, I don't know, they need it digitally done.
And that wasn't done?
No, it wasn't done digitally.
Lieutenant Governor, what's your feelings on having to be fingerprinted for the second time?
Well, it was, how do I say this? I think it's important that we look at, this criminal justice process. I will do whatever I'm asked to do. I know I'm innocent. I know that there's a lot of politics involved in this process, and of course, how many other misdemeanor people that you get booked in are you at the Agana precinct for? So, really, I think this is quite enough.
In hindsight, do you wish that you had come here on Wednesday and gotten your fingerprints taken then?
Well, look, you get another bite of the apple then at my expense, so ultimately...
we did what we were asked to do.
Yeah, we did.
We completed everything. They told us we had completed processing until 4:45 on Friday afternoon, and here we are at 4:45 on Monday. Get it done.
How long do you expect the process to take inside today?
I'm not sure, maybe just a few minutes, but I'm sure you'll be waiting outside for me to come again.
Certainly aware of the media that is following him around, and this particular story is now. We've been talking this morning because I was a little bit confused because after hearing that audio and then talking about
said he was
getting a second fingerprint.
But last week, out in front of the probation office, Tenorio said he had his picture taken, but he was not fingerprinted. That's in the story from last week, and
right.
You can hear that on the audio from last week as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I wanted to go back that far in that direction, now that's the second audio that because you sent me two of them yesterday. There was that one, and there was another one.
That's the only worthwhile one there.
The other one was not worthwhile. There no good sound bites like this. This is enough. From what? As I said, obvious that he realizes that there is a little bit of a media circus that is following him around on the gun grabbing story, and every time he's got to appear somewhere, there's going to be journalists, and not necessarily providing the coverage kind of at his expense. It's the news. It's the big story that is floating around here, and some people say is going to have an impact on the election. Virtually everything around here seems to be capable of having some kind of an impact on the election. So there we go. Get word that traffic beginning to back up on Route 15. Is that what I'm getting on the Facebook or the WhatsApp here this morning? Hold on a second. Let me open it up and see what the guy's got to say. backed up to Laddie Heights now, and there is some video on that. Let me see if I can get around to playing that for you in the next couple of minutes. So there we are, 888-8255. Those are among the top stories that we're playing around with here this morning. Is the Lieutenant Governor's other appearance. The other one is the Chamorro Land Trust Commission in Barrigada Heights. They have investigated themselves and found basically no problems. That's what they're saying. They've looked into 100 leases issued for Barrigada Heights lots that go back to 1997, and the current leases that have been put into place between 2014 and 2018. And even though it was revealed that a lease was issued to a staff member, one lease issued to a staff member, 3 leases issued to staff members' relatives within the 3rd degree of consanguinity. In addition, news stories noted 2 leases were issued to those with the press considered well-connected in the government of Guam. Leases in each case were derived from a December 1995 application. So it says, we conducted an investigation into these leases along with a review of the entire CLTC programs and policies. At the conclusion of the investigation, the commission could find no wrongdoing by the directors, staff members, their family members, or those well-connected individuals who have the leases because they were following the policies in place at the time. And apparently, nobody's really loves those policies in there. So as a result of that, they're going to do what I'm going to say looks like, feels like, because it just got that feeling like they're sweeping it under the rug. It's making me nuts. 748, somebody else needs to conduct an investigation. You know as well as I do that that is the case. In fact, you can Google that. Google the phrase, conducted an investigation on itself. And the results are never satisfactory. 10 away from 8 o'clock in the morning. I do want to take an opportunity to say congratulations to Rich and Jason over at the shop that is now in charge of the new Olive Garden in Tumon. Good morning, Jason.
Hey, good morning, Ray. How's it going?
It's good. Where was my invitation to the soft opening last night? Not that I could go, but I just wanted to get invited.
You know, I think the last night's when we had a fundraising opportunity for one of the gubernatorial candidates that are out there right now. So that's what that was.
Was it a fundraiser for Ray and Tony?
No, I believe it was for Lou and Josh.
You believe? How come you don't know for sure? It was in your restaurant, Jason.
It's not my restaurant, my man. I just put ads on Facebook.
There you go. There you go. Well, we do want to say congratulations, and I do recall seeing a flyer in the WhatsApp a couple of weeks ago from somebody that was saying there was going to be a Lou and Josh fundraiser at the Olive Garden, and I thought, what an interesting way to get everything opened up, and what an interesting place to have some kind of a fundraiser. You know, most people do venue or those places down in Anigua, but Olive Garden sound like a fun place to do it. At any rate, so today is the actual grand opening?
Absolutely. At 11 a.m., we are officially open from here on out. It's a pretty exciting time for us, man.
Well, tell me a little bit about it. 11 o'clock, Tumon Sands.
Yeah, so Tumon Sands, you can come on down. We're right there. I mean, you know, the back parking of the building, we're off on the left-hand side. You can't miss us. Our signs are everywhere, and we're really excited. I feel like it's one of the coolest restaurants I've ever been a part of, not building, but kind of seeing it kind of go into place. And,
yeah.
It's gorgeous, man. It's really a really gorgeous restaurant. The food's fantastic. We still have a lot of the off-island trainers here, so they're making sure everything is done exactly the way it's supposed to be. And we're pretty stoked, man. Like, I had a chance to have a bowl of pasta yesterday, just classic spaghetti and meatballs, along with our side salads. And you're going to love the salads, man. Our plates come out chilled. It's those little things that kind of caught me off guard. I just thought it was so neat. So I'm super excited. I think the people are really, really, really going to enjoy it. And we can't wait to have you guys come down and try it out.
Well, I think, you know what, see what's going on. I got a little touch of a head cold this morning, but I hope it's not going to hold me back too much from enjoying other fun things and the new things in life. And appreciate you mentioning a couple of dishes. Also, appreciate you mentioning the fact that you've got some off-island trainers. So people that have been to Olive Gardens in the States should have a very similar experience.
Absolutely. I mean, in regards to like the aesthetics, the look, I think we have a completely unique design and look. But the food, I mean, whatever you tasted out there is exactly what you're going to taste here.
Interesting. Interesting. Now about how many people are employed there at Olive Garden? How many people did you pick up? Well, let me ask it this way, because I know you're a large enough company here, and you've got expertise in a variety of other dining locations and under different signs. Were you able to hire a lot of new people? Were there a lot of internal transfers?
I think I know we have a handful, but when I looked around the other day, it was a lot of new faces.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone from the kitchen and front of the house. I mean, a ton. I would say we only, poached maybe about 5 from the other restaurants that we have. But I would say a lot of them are new hires.
Poach. I like the way you use that. Poach, but internal poaching, which in some cases is allowed, because you got some people that are really doing some exemplary work at some of your other places, Applebee's and IHOP, and it's nice that there is another restaurant now that they might be able to grow into in certain management and server positions there. Tell me a little bit about the prices. I mean, it's obviously it's Olive Garden. We're in Tumon. Will I get a little bit of credit card shock if I eat at Olive Garden?
And I really don't think so. Like, we have these great early duos that are starting at $9.99. Our lunch specials are really affordable. There's tons of value everywhere you look at the menu. I don't think you're going to run into that.
Now, as we all like to see in our dining experiences here on Guam, one of our favorite things is to see when the restaurants make a nod to the fact that they are on Guam and say, you know what, we can do this with red rice if you like, or we've got finadeni on the side. So, are there any local touches that the franchise has allowed so far?
You know what? I'm proof positive, and you can see from my track record how much I love to localize things. I mean, we have a ton of stuff over at IHOP with our IHOP local. I mean, we have some dishes over at Applebee's that I never thought would ever. I mean, corporate comes down, they're like, "Wow, this actually really works." Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, this Nancy thing's for real. Throw it on a burger. It's great. And then at Pyology, you'll have things like longanisa and chamorro sausage and Portuguese sauce. I mean, so we love to localize things, but I am so looking forward to not with Olive Garden. We are going, I don't want to use the word cookie cutter, but I did. They have created a fantastic franchise, a fantastic menu, using fresh ingredients, fresh pastas, fresh soups made from scratch. And that's not something we're looking to reinvent.
I see.
So, I mean, over time, could you imagine seeing some, I don't know, hard to say.
There's certain Denancies out there that if you take 2 or 3 atoms together will change the complexion of your soup completely. So I don't know. Well, let me ask you: is there Tabasco on the table?
Oof.
Do we have Tabasco on the table?
Great question. You know what? Let me do some research now and get back to you.
Right on. So 11 o'clock this morning. Now, obviously, you're expecting a big crowd at 11 o'clock this morning, right?
I would imagine the wait times and lines are going to be pretty insane. It's not as huge of a restaurant as, let's say, Applebee's is, with as many seats. It's more, I would say, closer and comparable to our IHOP Tumon location. So about 125, 145 seats. So there's definitely going to be some wait times. We know there's going to be excitement and anticipation, and people are going to want to test it out and try the new thing and be one of the first and hit that social media post with it. So we invite everyone down. We hope everyone's nice and patient with us. We're going to try and get out some fantastically great food for you guys over the next few days.
Can we do reservations?
Yes, I believe you can.
Okay, is that online or
wrong? Then I apologize ahead of time.
I got you. No, I completely understand. Everything is brand new, different policies, different procedures in place. If I asked you anything about Pyology or Applebee's or IHOP, I know you'd be able to give me the answers right away. But essentially, you're launching a brand new store today, and I want to offer my congratulations to you and Rich. All right.
Hey, no, thank you so much, Ray. We hope to have you down after Head Cold is done. Hit me up, and we'll have some lunch. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if I got a head cold going on, this is not the day to be sampling out some new products and new restaurants. Yeah.
Oh wait. Yeah, did you guys got your beer and wine license, right?
I believe we do.
Okay, so there's beer and wine there.
Oh man, wine is we have a fantastic wine selection.
Gotcha.
I'm super stoked about that.
Do we have multiple polls for the beers?
Multiple polls?
Yeah, taps.
Yeah. I think we have about 5 or 6.
Hey, dude, take a picture and then send it to me, and I'll put it on the Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right on.
I'm headed down there right now.
Good man. 7:56 and change. That's Jason Respicio, and Jace is lined up with the company that has brought Olive Garden finally to Guam. And what's the next one that you and Rich are going to be working on?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm focused on this bad boy right now.
All right. I understand. Corporate secret.
Above my pay grade, sir.
Yep. 7:57. I'll talk to you pretty soon. Good luck on the grand opening, 11 o'clock for Olive Garden today. And as we will, it's going to be a big deal. There's going to be all kinds of people that are lined up wanting to be the very first. But apparently the very first that got to try the pastas and the soups and the salads were Lou and Josh supporters.
I bet they could make you a really nice, spicy Bloody Mary with bacon. That would help your cold.
Do they have that there?
They may after you visit.
The thing is, and as many times as I've had the chance to try Olive Gardens in the States and in my travels, I've never been to one.
Wow.
Just not one of those things that's ever been any kind of a priority. Now that we've got one here, obviously, I want to go and try it out. Frankly, and most people know me this way, the priorities were for many years Burger King, because we didn't have Burger Kings on Guam for a long time. And then when we got the Burger King, I'm like, okay, what's next? It was Jack in the Box, because we never had a Jack in the Box around here. So as soon as you'd get out of the airport at LAX and get in the car and go, okay, where is the nearest Jack in the Box from here? That's what I want to know about. And then you go and you get some poppers and stuff like that. And crazy thing, anymore, now that we've got this is the way it works, right? So now we've got a Jack in the Box. It's up the street. It's 2 minutes up the street. How often do I eat there? Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, kind of got to be in that line of traffic. Minute or so away from 8 o'clock in the morning. On the way, we've got Fox News Live, and then on the other side of that, Blake Watson and Mike and I are going to pretend to talk about sports. And frankly, there's a lot to talk about. There is the aftermath of the Dallas-Texas game that took place yesterday.
That's right.
And I didn't look up the score because I wanted to see which one of you were going to be, all down in the mouth about it. And then there is, we didn't talk about it yesterday, although we should have, is the rumble after the rumble in the McGregor-Gabug fight. Yeah. Right? What was that? I mean, that and it seems more and more people are talking about that. And then there is something else. Remind me to talk about this if we get some time. There is a painting that sold for like $1.4 million, Banksy painting.
Okay, yeah.
Shredded itself.
And it shredded itself. What? You got to be kidding. There's more to that story. It's just one of those interesting things that you can talk about while you're having lunch today over at Olive Garden. 8 o'clock in the morning. Stand by now for Fox News Live.
He calls it a monstrous storm. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Florida Governor Rick Scott as Hurricane Michael gains strength.
Hurricane Michael poses a deadly threat, and as it grows stronger, we can expect it to make landfall as a major Category 3 storm on Wednesday along the Gulf Coast.
A state of emergency has already been declared for 35 counties, and he has asked President Trump for assistance ahead of the storm.
As the storm approaches, there will also be a significant threat of tornadoes. Hurricane Michael is a massive storm that could bring total devastation to parts of our state, especially in the Panhandle.
He's urging people who live along the Gulf Coast to finish their storm preparations. Alabama Governor Kay Ivey has issued a statewide state of emergency in anticipation of damage from Michael. The investigation underway into what caused a horrific limo crash in upstate New York Saturday that killed 20 people. Fox's Gernal Scott has more live.
Elisa, the National Transportation Safety Board is looking into the crash. Chairman Robert Sumwalt says the condition and modification of the car will be a key focus, as well as the seatbelts within.
We're not sure if all seating positions were equipped with seatbelts, and we are not sure at this point whether or not the seatbelts were worn by anyone.
Sumwalt did say those in the rear of the limo, according to New York state law, were not required to wear seatbelts. Governor Andrew Cuomo says the limo failed a state inspection. Autopsies continue on the victims to determine any other crash factors. Lisa.
Gernal, a ceremonial swearing in next hour for Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. President Trump commenting on the ceremony a short time ago after arriving at the White House.
I've always been told it's the biggest thing a president can do, and I can understand that. So it'll be very special.
Kavanaugh officially sworn in over the weekend and is working with his clerks to prepare for his first day on the bench. This is Fox News.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just stop into any Circle K, sign up for our Power Pass rewards program, and after your purchase of 15 cups of premium coffee, any size, you get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details. Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just swipe your Power Pass key fob when you purchase Circle K Premium Coffee, any size. And after 15 cups, you'll get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details.
President Trump met today with Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. There's been speculation Rosenstein will be fired over comments attributed to him in a New York Times report.
I said that I was going. I'm not making any changes. You'd be the first to know. I'm not making any changes yet.
The report in the Times said Rosenstein considered using the 25th Amendment to remove President Trump. California's two candidates for governor have had their one and only debate.
Democratic candidate Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom linked his opponent John Cox to President Trump on climate change and immigration when asked by a KQED listener about sanctuary cities.
He parrots in almost every opportunity Donald Trump and Trumpism, and Trump would have an advocate in Sacramento if he becomes the next governor.
Republican John Cox said Newsom, who's been in public office for 16 years, is just the status quo. Nothing new, nothing will change.
My opponent is for the gas tax. His answer for the housing crisis is more government spending.
Cox trails Newsom in all polling, and in some by double digits. He has asked for more debates. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
911 audio from a Florida car accident involving American swimming champ Ryan Lochte has been released.
911, what type of emergency?
Oh, yeah, I would like to, we just got in an accident.
911 dispatch there in Gainesville, Florida, talking with Olympic gold medal swimmer Ryan Lochte. This after an accident Thursday evening where Lochte was cited for careless driving after rear-ending a car in front of him. That crash happening just hours after Lochte allegedly drunkenly kicked in a hotel door in Newport Beach, California. No arrests were made in that incident. While the police report from the Florida accident does not mention alcohol, a lawyer for Lochte confirming Monday that the swimming star will be seeking treatment for an addiction to alcohol. Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
Netflix has chosen New Mexico as the site of its new U.S. production hub and is negotiating to buy an existing multi-million-dollar studio complex in Albuquerque. I'm Lisa Lacera, and this is Fox News.
Morico Equipment on Ipoh Road has been around a while. 28 years on Guam, in fact. 28 long years of dealing with Gov Guam, persevering through typhoons, earthquakes, the U.S. military, boony dogs, boony grass, off-island, on-island, old Marine Corps drive, destructive winds, and dangerous surf. So they know a bit about equipment on Guam. Lucky for us, the employees who work at Morico Equipment also own Morico Equipment because they're very proud of what they do. Call 649-1946 or click moricoequipment.com.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
The first ever of anything is always special. That's why we're excited about the first ever 2018 Nissan Kicks. The Kicks kicks things up with best-in-class MPG, standard safety technology with automatic emergency braking system, and best-in-class cargo space to meet any lifestyle. Upgrades kicks things up with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Bose driver headrest speakers. Over 1.4 million colorful options means your Kicks can be a first ever of its kind. The Kicks starts at under $20,000. Visit Nissan Guam for a test drive today. Nissan, innovation that excites.
We're surrounded by sound. There are sounds that you need to hear. There are sounds that you want to hear. And there are sounds that you long to hear.
I love you.
Hear it all, louder and clearer than ever before. If you or someone you know has a hard time hearing, Guam Hearing Doctors can help, using state-of-the-art test gear to evaluate your hearing and coming up with a plan to make your life better by making your hearing better. Call Guam Hearing Doctors for an appointment or visit them on the web at guamhearingdoctors.com.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. My name is Alicia Blas from Agate, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Putehi Igumamu. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 8 a.m. this Tuesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The Chamorro Land Trust Commission has cleared Department of Land Management Director Michael Borja of any wrongdoing in connection with the Barrigada Heights land leases. Some of the leases were issued to certain well-connected GovGuam officials and others to land management employees or their relatives, including a relative of Borja's. Borja oversees the CLTC, which is part of the Department of Land Management. A release from the CLTC yesterday says that the commission conducted an investigation into the leases and found no wrongdoing by the director, staff members, their family members, or those well-connected individuals who got leases. The commission found that they were following the policies in place at the time when they received the leases. The CLTC review notes that of the 57 leases issued between 2014 and 2018, only one was issued to a land management staff member. 3 were issued to relatives of staff members. The release goes on to explain that when the Guam Power Authority cleared part of an easement in Barrigada Heights earlier this year, the director took advantage of that by asking DPW to clear the rest of the easement in order to reach the CLTC properties that had been inaccessible since the program began. Clearing the easement provided access, which meant that leases could then be issued to those properties. Speculation continues to grow that the Democratic gubernatorial team that finished second in the August primary election has decided to relaunch their bid for Adelup by conducting a write-in campaign. Senator Frank Uggan Jr. and his running mate, former U.S. Attorney Alicia Lim-Tiaco, have been holding a series of waves over the past 2 days. Yesterday, they were in front of the Agana McDonald's in the morning. Later that day, they waved at motorists in Petey. This morning, the Uggan Lim-Tiaco team are in front of the Micronesia Mall waving. The waving follows a video posted on the Uggan Lim-Tiaco Facebook page last Thursday in which they defended their decision not to abide by the Democratic Party's unity pledge and suggested their support of a write-in campaign for Adelup. Guam Daily Post caught up with Senator Uggan yesterday following a legislative hearing to ask if he has relaunched his campaign. The senator declined to comment on the question, saying there would be an announcement by the end of this week. Senator Uggan said that he and his running mate Alicia Lim-Tiaco are waving to say hi to the people and thank them for their support during the campaign. We'll have more news after this.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
There's a reason every day a Guam homeowner is getting a solar system installed by Micronesia Renewable Energy. It's because MRE is the most trusted name in solar. With more solar energy solutions than any other solar company on island, homeowners have a choice to go solar for zero money down or take the path to ownership. Whichever way, it keeps our skies blue and your pockets green. And with the most experienced solar technicians and an energy production guarantee, there are no worries. Call 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, the smarter choice.
11 minutes past 8 a.m. here at The Point. The final tally is in for the tax amnesty program. John Camacho, the director of the Department of Rev and Tax, confirming that $30.1 million was collected out of the $35.2 million pledged by nearly 900 delinquent taxpayers. The total collected is 5.1 million short of what was pledged. Still, Camacho telling the Guam Daily Post that they're very happy with the results. In the beginning, he said they anticipated only 20 to 25 million would be collected by the amnesty, but in the end, they collected 30 million, a lot more than expected. The amnesty applied to all unpaid income taxes, business privilege taxes, and real property taxes. All penalties and interest were forgiven if the total amount due was paid in full during the amnesty period, which ended September 28th. In-office voting began yesterday at the Guam Election Commission. Voters who will not be able to vote during the general election on November 6 can now vote. 26 voters took advantage of the opportunity yesterday, according to GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan, who spoke on the point earlier this morning. You have to go to the Election Commission in the GCIC building in Agana and sign an affidavit stating that you are not able to vote during the general election, which is less than a month away now. In-office voting will take place between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. through November 5th. If you haven't registered to vote, you can still do that. You have up until October 26 to register. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now take a look at the weather.
Thanks, Kevin. Partly sunny and very warm. Isolated showers and thunderstorms are in the forecast. Possible. East winds up to about 15 miles an hour today. Expected daytime highs 89. Warm degrees. Overnight lows hovering around 78 degrees. The sun will set early tonight, 6:05. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 10 after. 888-8255 is the telephone number around here. You can normally talk to Mike through that. I get to talk to him through the microphone and the headsets. Putting up the satellite images. Just downloaded the latest couple of images on this, and what do they show, Mike?
Well, what they're showing is actually a little bit of an uptick in activity just to our northeast, and you can see those clouds if you're outside, and looks like some pretty healthy showers that could be moving down into the area throughout the next few hours, and we'll have to see how the sunshine helps that build up and combines with this upper level low pressure area, which will actually enhance thunderstorm development should those clouds get high enough.
So it's going to be muggy now on top of the hot.
Yeah, on top of that. Yeah, if it rains, it's going to be a bear out there this afternoon.
I think somebody's what the forecast image says. It's going to feel like that scene in Indiana Jones. You know, when they open up the Ark of the Covenant and everybody starts melting slowly in the face. He says that's what it's going to be like today after all of those showers move in to the already hot air area that is going to be Guam. It's 8:14. That's news and weather together here on The Point.
One of the longest-running primary care clinics on Guam, the FHP Health Center, has been your convenient one-stop healthcare clinic for you and your family for many generations. FHP's highly trained and well-known medical, dental, and vision providers and their friendly clinical support team are here, ready to take care of you. In addition to the excellent care, FHP offers a full-service pharmacy, laboratory, radiology, and specialty care center in one location. FHP Health Center, our island, your clinic. Most insurance accepted, including Netcare, Aetna, and TRICARE.
It's 8:14. Portions of the program brought to you by my friends over at King's. And you know what I need? I need somebody that's got a better pair of eyes than the ones I've got. I've got this picture. It's a picture of Frank and Alicia, and they're waving at the Chicken Joy intersection on what used to be a really nice little fenced area that came down to the crosswalk signalization thing. Anyway, Drunk took it out like 2 years ago, and they still haven't gotten around to fixing it. So now the whole thing is just an eyesore. And but anyway, it's made prettier because Alicia and Frank are there today, just FYI. But here's what he's wearing a T-shirt, and I can't quite make out what the T-shirt says on the Facebook Live. You can see it this morning on the YouTube Live as well. And I don't know what it is. Is that, what's that? It's like a Kiko Man? Sriracha. It's the Sriracha shirt, right?
It looks like it, but I don't think so because there's no rooster there.
Death Star. It's Star Wars Death Star.
Maybe it's his own shirt.
I don't know.
Maybe he printed up his own shirt.
It's like they've got Believe clothes. They have the Believe clothes. I don't know why they're not wearing the Believe clothes. Anyway, 8:15 in the morning. I was trying to express to somebody, you need to take a picture of that. I'll put the picture somewhere, and then you go to King's and then really dive deep into the picture while you're eating some beefsteak chamorro, because that's the big lunch special today at King's.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
Somebody messaged me and said it's time was stupid. That's not nice. That's not nice. 8:16 portions of the program brought to you by Security Title. If you've got some real complex real estate stuff that you've got to get in front of and don't quite know how to do it, folks over at Security Title are experts. They'll talk you through the title process, but they can also give you some advice and some tips and some hints on making the real estate transaction that much easier for you. Also brought to you by Micronesia Renewable Energy. Never been a better time to go solar. American Water Tech. Smarter water, better water. Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your open heart surgery needs. And who else? Who did I miss? Mike? I've gotten everybody, right? Did I do American President
got
lines?
American President lines. They're shipping the future.
That's what I thought. And then the guys over at AK Lexus, where they have a brand new 2019 ES350, and you're going to love all of the accoutrements in them. You're going to love all of the accessories that come with it, and you're going to love the packages. I mean, the color packages that they've got. They've got obviously some great looking outside colors, that go on the body of the car, but interior design. How about get the Deadpool version of leather seats, red and black. You're going to love it. So check it out today at AK.
The Ray Gibson Show. News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. Turn it up. Now tell a friend.
Nate tonight tuning into the only part of the program that he feels like he's compelled to tune into, and that would be the sports section. Before we get to that, I want to say happy birthday to David Evans. Don't blame it on the cha-cha-cha. That's the guy that writes and performs the song. You can hear him perform it. Generally, I want to say it's either at Porky's or Santa Fe on the Bay is where you can find him. And, of course, Carlotta Leon Guerrero, who likes to dance to the song. Don't blame it on the cha-cha-cha, celebrating her birthday today. How about Jane Pareto? Big Sister Shelley is there. Pat Saho. And they're talking about, in this particular one, in this particular thread on Facebook Live, talking about the food and service at Olive Garden. Apparently she's had some of that. Stuffed mushrooms, zucchini bites, great drink menu there. Ray Haddock says, love food made from Richard Hart at the Olive Garden. Nick says, I could eat Olive Garden soup and salad all day long. And a couple of other comments. Frankie Gutierrez, Renee Lau is there, Andy Heinrichs, and Leah Beth Nahalawa'a. Shelley says, tiramisu is really, really good at the Olive Garden. And then Ismail,
this is so funny
with an interesting point. As a prior law enforcement officer, Kevin, aren't his prints already on file as part of the background check? Don't you think they would Joe, you're right to know. You used to be a police officer. Same hands, right? You didn't change hands? Okay, so the fingerprints ought to be good.
But he could have injured his hands or
That's
something.
Politics.
Yeah, and in the meantime.
But who? He's the lieutenant governor already. What politics could possibly be afoot? Who in the political realm has power without being
I don't know.
elected?
Yesterday he explained that it was the digital version of the fingerprinting.
Yeah.
But last week he said that he was not fingerprinted; he was only photographed.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. We got multiple sound bites going on. One where he says I was photographed but not fingerprinted,
Exactly.
and then another one where the reporter asked about a second fingerprinting, and he says, yeah. Well, when was the first one? We thought it was that yesterday was the first one.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a weird thing. The whole story is weird, isn't it? 20 after 8 o'clock in the morning. It's time for Sports with Bleed. Go. I don't even remember what we were talking about yesterday, but we missed an entire story about what's his name, McGregor and Gabugabug, and the whole fight. And so I've seen a variety of positions in the social medias. Some say, you know what? McGregor got what he had coming to him, right? Because all the trash talking and throwing crap at buses that has taken place, right? And so everybody says, nah, that's all McGregor just getting his comeuppance from
I think he just got beat. I mean,
then
that's
you
the
got,
thing
then
of
you
it,
got
right?
people they're actually holding Khabib's money.
Yeah, no, they are.
They're not. He hasn't been paid
Well, he
yet.
was wrong. He was wrong for what he did. I mean, like, regardless of, whether he beat, whether you like Conor or not. I mean, like, he left the arena of play and jumped in the crowd. No matter what. I mean, the last time that had that, the Malice in the Palace, which almost we're coming up on that. That's where Ron Artest attacked a fan in Indiana too, and that's why
But were these guys fans, or were they fans? I thought they were McGregor's guys. I thought they were like Team McGregor.
They may be McGregor's coach, but they weren't in his corner and they weren't in the octagon. They were in the crowd, and that's where Habib was wrong.
So long and short of it, yeah, you might have personally felt justified, finally going after the bully, and then you wanted to go after the bully and all of the bully's friends, but there's a time and a place for everything, and that wasn't it.
And you crossed the line, yeah. I mean, like literally and figuratively. Like I said, I mean, I know that guy was Conor's jiu-jitsu coach, specifically, not his striking coach, not his Muay Thai coach, his specific jiu-jitsu coach. He had his corner man and all of his people there, near the octagon. And this guy that Habib went after, though he is Conor's, buddy and all that, he wasn't a part of the, of the octagon, of the official ring crew for Conor. So that's where Habib just kind of crossed the line because, I mean, essentially he attacked a crowd member. And it's not just me that thinks that. The Las Vegas Metro Police also thought that, and I think they arrested 2 or 3 of Habib's people right there on the spot. Right there, right in front of everything.
Was it worth $2 million? Because that's what they're holding on to right now.
Is that how much it was?
I believe it's $2 million.
Yeah, I know that. So they're still holding on to that. They may come down with some suspensions too. I know that Conor, they initially held both checks, and I know that the Las Vegas Gaming Commission or whoever it is, the powers that be that are investigating it, they interviewed Conor that night. And because Conor, after he got beat, he's just kind of sitting there on the ground, and then he gets attacked, So he really was a victim in the whole thing, and that's why they released his check that night because they didn't find him. I mean, after he had already lost the fight, he's sitting there watching it all go down outside the octagon, and then next thing you know, two other people come up behind him and start assaulting him. So they deemed that he was just he was just the victim, and so he got paid that night.
Nice. All right, so we got that, and then we had the boy adventure yesterday, the boy football adventure between you and Michael Knight.
A fun time had by all.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The police didn't call me, so I figured everything was working out all right.
But who won and who lost?
Well, there was an actual football game that got played, right?
And it went to overtime. It was an actual game. We had to sit there and watch the whole thing, and the Texans won. They beat the Cowboys, so they own the Governor's Cup. They are the best football team in the state of Texas.
Yeah, which is relative at this point.
Now, when is that going to get challenged? You said this is not a game that pops up every once in a while.
5 years.
Yeah. Okay. So they
play
play
each other every preseason. Yeah, every preseason. So this is the second time they've played each other. Although preseason games, it's not the same team because very few starters actually play in the preseason. Yeah. But that's one of the Cowboys Texans little bits that they do every last preseason game of going into each season. It's always Cowboys Texans. They always play each other.
And of course, my Homer sports report has to send out congratulations to the Astros who just swept the Indians in the American League Divisional Series.
Baseball.
So they're going to get set now to either play Boston or the Yankees. Whoever wins their series.
You know what's interesting too is yesterday we crossed paths with another Dallas Cowboy fan, and she was actually from the area, from Dallas. So Mike Knight was sandwiched between 2 Cowboys fans as he watched the game yesterday. So,
but we were all, it was a very polite viewing.
It was fun.
It was good times.
Right.
Good times.
So where'd you watch at?
We watched at 2 places.
Because apparently today's free advertising day, so just whatever. Where'd you go?
We started out, 3 Squares,
We went to 3 Squares first because they're open at 8 and they serve alcohol.
Yeah.
At any time.
Which we did get some curious looks when we ordered beer, but we explained that.
One morning, guys. We wake up
That's
at
what
3.
I'm saying. That's what I mean. Yeah. So
that's already happy hour for us.
So we had a frosty beer about 10:15.
Cool.
Yeah.
After that, the looks stopped.
It's not against the law. Nobody got hurt that we're aware of. Okay, so 3 Squares.
And then around halftime, we changed over to Chili's just for a different for a change in variety in what we were in food and drinks and everything. Okay. Change of scenery. So
now was there a crowd? I mean, because it's just you guys. That's it.
Yeah, and the whole there were a couple tables that came in behind us, but at the bar top, it was just the 3 of us, and then it was really interesting. We did kind of have to watch our excitement, if you will, because right behind us was in full gear, hat and jersey, where it was a dad-daughter Dodger fan duo. and they were watching the Dodgers play the Braves.
Oh, yeah.
They were there watching a different game, but they were watching their game. Which, by the way, the Dodgers are down 2-1 at the end of the 5th.
Gotcha.
In that game.
All right. It sounds like you guys had a good time. Now there's an opportunity for a repeat of this because it's Monday Night Football. Because today is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Who's playing?
It's the Saints Redskins, which is going to be a pretty good game. It's pretty evenly matched. You know, like one team is not overly better than the other team, so it should be a pretty decent game.
Yeah, I think you and I are actually giving the Saints the nod on the breeze factor.
So is it 3 squares again today?
Maybe. Well, you want to go? They make good coffee over there.
I've been telling everybody all morning how sick I am, and the only reason why I'm actually capable of being on the air right now is because I took a Dayquil earlier, and it's going to wear off before too much longer, and then I'm going to be laying down and snotty for the rest of the day. That's my plan. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I don't know if there's going to be any football on, and it's not like I care about sports, right?
Yeah.
Because I might restart Maniac.
See, for you,
on
it's
Netflix.
actually like for you. See, for me, I could show up to any game and find some kind of vested interest, you know, and be like, oh, well, I'm rooting for this because of this, or I like the tight end because he went to this college, or I don't like that guy, so I'm rooting against him because of whatever. But you, I mean, like, you really have to know what you're getting into, why you're getting in there, and all that.
My dad liked the Redskins. That's the only connection that I have. So,
they're FD colors, so there you go. You know, I know a lot of FD people like them.
Are they FD colors or are they Frank Uggan colors? Everything is connected now to the write-in campaign.
Is
They're
that the
actually
same
out
colors?
there.
The gold and burgundy?
Oh well, no. He's
that's
got the burgundy.
Red, white. Yeah, but normally, the gold and burgundy. That's why I think of the Washington Redskins when I see the gold and burgundy. Not so much the sunshine or Frank Uggan.
So this very interesting story. British street artist Banksy pulled off one of his most spectacular pranks on Friday night when one of his trademark paintings appeared to self-destruct after selling for $1.4 million. The work, Girl with Balloon, a 2006 spray paint on canvas, was the last lot of Sotheby's Frieze Week evening and contemporary art sale. After the competition between 2 telephone bidders, it was hammered down by the auctioneer Oliver Barker for £1 million, more than 3 times the estimate, and a new auction high for work solely by the artist Banksy, according to them. Then we heard an alarm go off. Morgan Long, the head of the art investment at the London-based advisory firm group, who was sitting at the front row, and he said everyone turned around and the picture had slipped through its frame. The painting, mounted on a wall close to a row of Sotheby's staff members, had been shredded, or at least partially shredded, by a remote control mechanism in the back of the frame.
He built it in the frame because he actually posted a video somewhere of him of the mechanism that he put in the thing. He actually did like a little how he actually pulled it off, like, and it shows him putting his little shredder in the back of the frame. I immediately thought, have you ever seen Thomas Crown? Yeah, you ever seen Thomas Crown Affair?
Okay,
that movie.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about. That's what I immediately thought of, where he steals the painting and then he immediately returns it, you know, but like that's spoiler alert, but that's the whole thing. Like the whole movie, they're looking for the painting and it was there the whole time.
Yeah.
Like it was right next to where he took it from. He just he took it and just like painted over it and then, you know, so he didn't really take it.
So is it possible that there is the original painting is still in there and then he had a duplicate go through the shredder?
Think so. No, it looked pretty shredded.
Or it's possible that wasn't the original painting. You know, maybe it was just one that he did around the same time.
So somebody bought it for $1 million British pounds?
Probably under dispute right now.
Yeah, it's right there with does Khabib get his money back?
The thing is, I wonder if he waited. You know, I wonder if Banksy waited to until money changed hands. You know, if it was like sold and it's like, zzz, well, now
for me, it takes nothing
away
away from the painting because Banksy was the one behind the shredding. You know, if it were an accident or something, then you could say,
So
"Oh yeah,"
on
you know.
purpose,
But it was actually part of the whole deal. And
Yeah.
the thing I've got to wonder is, were the buyers made aware that this was going to happen, or was it a complete surprise?
I think it was a stunt.
Given the nuttiness of the art world, is probably worth more now.
Yes, yes. I think you're right. 20 to 8:30 in the morning. 888-8255 is the telephone number. You got any other sports today?
I do not. Oh, I do have this.
Is there anything local going on?
Yep. There's one thing as we in IIAAG. There is girls playoff volleyball this evening. I don't know, really, not semifinal, quarterfinals. I don't know. Either way, whatever round we're in. We are in the second round of it as the Royals will host GW down south. 6 p.m. this evening. Winner will move on and face the winner of St. John's Academy, which is going down at the Dale J. Jenkins Gymnasium in Upper Tumon at 6 p.m. this evening as well. So winner of those will go into the championship, and then the losers will play the consolation game.
All right, Roy Gamboa writes this morning, McGregor is not as innocent. Go to 30 seconds in. He sent a video and see Connor throw a punch first.
Okay.
You don't care.
No, I don't. The guy lost. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You don't like McGregor because he runs his mouth. He lost. He won. Khabib did wrong.
Yeah.
He left if he would have just taken the belt, did the post-fight interview, and walked back to the thing, whether you like McGregor or not, it doesn't really matter. McGregor took his loss.
Yep.
And what's really terrible, especially if you're not a McGregor fan, what you should be upset about is that Khabib basically this loss never really happened because the event was marred by so much more controversy and drama, and you won't remember who actually won or lost. You're just going to remember him jumping over and waylaying some dude.
Great picture in there.
Oh, it's a great picture.
I see. And I've only seen stills of this. I hadn't seen any of the.
I
the
watched
actual,
it.
I haven't seen the actual
the thing
fight.
is I think in the weigh-ins or press conference or something like that, he was saying, we're going to talking to Khabib, and so there is video of Roy. I don't know if you saw this one. If you're going to start pointing out little cheap shots, Khabib was just grounding and pounding Connor, and he was talking to him while he was hitting him, saying, "You want to talk now? Let's talk now. Let's talk." So I mean, it was a fight. Of course, there was punches thrown and cheap shots, but but the biggest cheap shot happened after the sanctioned fight was over, which is why this whole thing is just
Roy's asking me to watch it. I'll watch it. We'll watch it together. 8:32 in the morning. 888-8255. Again, the telephone number here at the radio station KUSG 93.3 The Point. And then Blake is going to go and finish the morning show on Star 101.
Yes.
Happy anniversary on the 11th.
Yes, that's coming up. When's Thursday?
Thursday is the day after tomorrow.
Yes.
Thursday is
Tuesday.
Yes, it is. Thank you very much. It's Tuesday Night Football. We're going to go through the calendar. Beefsteak tomorrow, pork synagogue,
yeah, that's what I was like. What is it?
Meatloaf at
Day? Is it
King's,
Meatloaf? Okay.
Then it's going to be the anniversary.
There we go. So when it's Meatloaf, it's birthday time.
Yes, exactly. And the big party at Horse and Cow?
Big party at Horse and Cow this weekend.
Yes.
I'm going to be there. You're going to be there?
I don't know about the weekend. It's Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. Well, I like to call that weekend.
With Danielle.
That's like the first day of the weekend, right?
Okay.
Thursday night, right?
Yeah, a little tricky after a long day of football yesterday. 8:33 in the morning. You better get over there. I got the headlines with Kevin Kerrigan coming up next.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong, a big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. Take it easy.
What do we got here? It's a video of inside the ring. New footage shows Conor McGregor throwing the first cheap shot on the trainer of Khabib. So I'm gonna watch this here and while the headlines are playing, all of that other stuff here. It's 8:34 from the Guam Daily Post. Their managing editor Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning. The federal government denying Governor Calvo's request for aid to help island families who suffered damage to their homes during Typhoon Mangkhut. The denial means that no federal assistance will be available to help pay for the property damage as a result of the typhoon, which passed over the Mariana Islands on September 10th. The Calvo administration immediately announced that it would appeal the decision yesterday. The damage reported by the administration on September 21st in its initial request for a major disaster declaration did not qualify Guam for the Federal Emergency Management Agency's Individual Disaster Assistance Program. The release from Adelut says it did not say how much in total damage had been reported to FEMA, but the governor says he has directed Guam Homeland Security and the Office of Civil Defense to work with local and federal partners to gather more data to help meet the threshold necessary to qualify for federal aid. The administration has until November 4th to submit their appeal. Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio reporting to the Agana precinct yesterday afternoon with his attorney to complete the final processing on the misdemeanor reckless conduct charges he's facing. Tenorio was met at the precinct by camera crews and reporters again. He said, "This has gone pretty much far enough." Tenorio said he respects the judicial process and he'll do whatever he's ordered to do by the court, but he suggested that there is politics involved in this process and said he was innocent on the charges against him. Superior Court Judge Benjamin Sisson ordering the processing at Tenorio's arraignment last Wednesday. The lieutenant governor was not present for that arraignment, and his attorney Tom Fisher entered a plea of not guilty, asking for a jury trial, which has been set for March 13th next year. Speculation continues to grow that the Democratic gubernatorial team that finished second in the August primary election has decided to relaunch their bid for Adelup by conducting a write-in campaign. Senator Frank Huggen Jr. and his running mate, former U.S. Attorney Alicia Limtiaco, have been holding a series of waves in the past 2 days. Yesterday, they were in front of the Agana McDonald's waving at passing vehicles. Later, they waved at motorists in Petey. This morning, the Huggen Limtiaco team were out in front of the Micronesia Mall. The waving follows a video posted on the Huggen Limtiaco Facebook page last Thursday in which they defended their decision not to abide by the Democratic Party's unity pledge and suggested their support of a write-in campaign for Adelup. Guam Daily Post caught up with Huggen yesterday following a legislative hearing to ask if he has relaunched his campaign. The senator declined to comment on the question, saying there would be an announcement by the end of the week. Senator Huggen said he and his running mate are waving to say hi to the people and thank them for their support during the campaign. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Hold on a second. On the microphone here, I'm sorry, I was doing something else. If you got stuck in traffic on the Route 15 earlier this morning, and I got word on the Gizmo that it was going back as far as Laddie Heights, it looks like there was an accident coming out of the Ladera Towers area. I've got video of it from an alert listener of the program, and they shot some video. I'll play some of it for you. I don't know that it's got any kind of audio, but you can see clearly we've got a couple of cars coming out of there. Fairly busy intersection, as you might imagine, with all of those people over at Ladera Towers that are trying to get into traffic at about the same time. And oftentimes it's, we got one car on top of another car. Oftentimes it can be kind of tricky and rugged around there. So there was an accident earlier. If that's what, if you were at the back of it and said, screw this, going to take forever, and hang the Louis up while you were still up north on Route 15, that was the problem. That's what happened. 888-8255 is the telephone number. It's 8:38 in the morning, and that's also iConnect time. iConnect is the practical choice. Yeah, a lot of people use them for all kinds of different things. Mobile plans, internet plans. They are the only ones that do push to talk. You want to find out how practical those plans are? 888-8255. No, wait, that's our number.
For more than 40 years, we've earned your trust. Caring for our island's health. Quality care and access to health solutions you deserve. Take care, our island, your health plan. Take care, health solutions that you deserve. Take care, peace of mind to coming for you. Take care, take care, take care.
20 away from 9 o'clock in the morning, the Ray Gibson Show. I'm sorry, our number is 8255. Their number is 888-8888. So it's easy to remember unless you're the lunkhead that does the morning show on The Point. Their number, 888-8888. Our number is 888-8255. And what the heck, while I'm giving away phone numbers, let me do this one here. It's 988-5874. That's 988-5874 if you've got some cool video and things like that. What else can I tell you about? Talking about great restaurants on Guam, and among my favorites is Subway, where you can go and eat fresh all the time. And one of the fresh menu items right now is the hot pastrami sandwich. Hot pastrami. It's just the meat. You get the lean cuts of meat out there, and you can put it on whatever bread you like. What do they got? 6 different kinds of bread now, including the wraps. So have it that way. Condiments and different flavors that you can put on the thing, different kind of veggies, something that's got some bite and some tang on it. Try it today. It's the... I said tang, and now I've got the moisture in the mouth. It is the hot pastrami sandwich at Subway. Eat fresh.
The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts of Guam Training every morning on The Ray Gibson Show.
No doubt you've heard these words. Life just ain't fair. We all have had things or people go south on us, leaving us feel that we were victimized. I'm Jerry Roberts, and at 7:20 a.m. on The Ray Gibson Show, I've got a story you might not soon forget.
You can find daily transcripts of The Extra Point by Jerry Roberts at guamtraining.com. Tune in every weekday morning at 7:20 for The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts on The Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point.
Yeah, so a real mess in traffic on Route 15 this morning. Don't think there's an accident now as much as I think it's just a whole lot of cars on the road moving a little bit slower between the post office and 8, 10, and 16. If you're coming out of Route 10 towards that intersection, you might see things slow down just a little bit around Wendy's, but by the time you get up to the intersection, should be just fine. Go left, go right, you're going to be in good shape. It doesn't look like there's anything backing up anywhere. A little bit of traffic in the Aston area just before you get to the Dead Man's Curve. Don't see anything at Navy Hospital. Haven't seen anything at Sumai or Anderson Air Force Base all morning long. So I think just that mess over by Route 16 might be the only thing. 19 away from 9 o'clock on The Ray Gibson Show.
What would you do with unlimited internet? With Docomo Pacific, the possibilities are endless. Docomo Pacific is throwing off the data caps so you can enjoy more of the things you love. Watch, stream, download, and play with no end in sight. Stop by any of our stores or check out DocomoPacific.com to learn more. Life becomes limitless with Docomo Pacific. Better together.
As I said, 18 away from 9 o'clock in the morning, and have an opportunity to talk with a new client of Choice Broadcasting. And it's, I heard the ads on Boss the other day for Access Medical Transport, and I thought, what's that? What kind of shop is that? Is it an ambulance thing or what? I don't know. So your name is Wella?
Yes, sir. Wella.
A little bit closer to the microphone.
Oh.
Go. You can either move up to it or you can grab it. I bought tough microphones.
Okay, my name is Wella.
Wella. And
Yes, sir.
what's your last name? Do you have a
Van
last?
Unen.
Huh?
Van Unen.
Okay. It's from around these parts?
Born and raised.
Good. Okay, well, a little bit more on the family side down the road. But Access Medical Transport, is that an ambulance service?
It is. It's a non-emergency medical transport, so we transport patients on an ambulance, and we have a wheelchair van as well.
Oh, I see. Okay, so if you just, like, say you need to get to dialysis, or you are at the house in between treatments, and it's not like you can drive yourself, and I was going to say, there's so many different ways that you can jump into this story. So basically, it's just transporting patients from one place to another.
Correct. Yes.
Right. Okay, and now, as you said, we've got one that is wheelchair capable?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then the other one is?
Ambulance. Patients who need a stretcher, like laying down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need more assistance, so they feel much comfortable in a supine position instead of sitting up.
I'm familiar with a couple of different concepts. So one is where you arrive by car at the hospital, and then you get the treatment, and the doctor says, okay, you cannot sit up straight in the car anymore. And you go, well, I better call an ambulance. But the ambulances are all busy doing emergency work.
Correct, yes. And so they would call someone like us to transport the patient.
Right. Now, and these kinds of things, because, discharge can happen any time at a hospital.
Yes, correct.
So do you run this thing 24 hours a day?
Yes, we do.
Wow.
24/7.
How many of these vehicles do you have?
For ambulance, we have 3, and then for the wheelchair, we have 1.
Are you busy?
Yes, very busy with actually both. You just don't realize the need for the island.
Well, that's it's an interesting concept, and as the transportation needs in the community change, it gets more and more interesting. And as I said, you've got every patient call is different.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, who is the majority of people that you service now?
More the geriatric patients, the much older ones, but there are some that we do provide service for who are not geriatric.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just need a medical attendant to be with them to pretty much assist them throughout the ride.
So, and now dialysis patients, do you have a lot of those? Or are they, for the most part, able to get around with regular transportation?
Some do, depending on case to case, but we do have patients who come in also from the CNMI that get treatment here,
right?
That we transport also, that need more assistance than just one person, than one family member. So they need probably like 2 or 3 people to, help them get in and out of their bed or a chair. So
Yeah.
we're there to assist them.
So are these all? You've got hydraulic-sized machines here. Do you have the with the crank up so that you can just pull up to the curb and there's the wheelchair and your wheelchair goes the thing goes down and the wheelchair goes in?
Pretty much, yeah.
I don't know.
Correct
There's a name.
concept.
What's the name of that? There's a name for that kind of thing.
We just pretty much call it a ramp.
A ramp. Okay,
Correct,
so you've got
yeah.
so you're ramp enabled.
Yes,
is
correct.
the deal. Now, if I was to use your service, could you provide some kind of medical assistance? I mean, if I could not get my hands on a regular ambulance, but I still needed to get to a hospital in a hurry, are you capable of providing any kind of medical treatment?
We would most likely recommend GFD if you
Wait for the ambulance.
To go to the ER, because that's, in your case, would be an emergency.
Okay.
But for regular appointments and clinic or discharges.
Okay. Now, the listeners are asking, well, it's great that there's that service, and keep that in mind. They're called Access Medical Transport is the name of the outfit. The question is, who pays? Who pays for the ride?
It really depends. We try, at most times, the insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And then if not, if they don't have insurance, then we would go self-pay.
Is it very expensive?
I think it's affordable, in my opinion. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, is it like under $100?
Depending. We for the wheelchair
I guess
van,
it would.
it is
The
a little bit.
distances and the wheelchair, different
Correct,
technology and drivers and things like that. Is there anything specific about the drivers? Do they need to get any kind of special licensing or
Yes, they need
training?
They do need a chauffeur's license, and they do need to be BLS certified.
BLS.
If in case, in emergency, let's say a patient goes into cardiac arrest, they would need that type of training
Mhm.
to assist the
Right.
patient.
And obviously we've got some kind of fleet management on this thing. We know where the guys are, so if anybody runs into trouble, press a button and pretty soon GFD will show up with their ambulances.
Correct.
How long have you guys been in business?
Since 2013.
Been a while.
Yes,
Been a while. There were a couple of other services that have come and gone since then. Is it not? Do you got any of their old equipment?
No, unfortunately not.
What kind of life do you get out of these ambulances that you have?
What kind of life?
Yeah, how long do they last? Because
it's a high maintenance dealing with the ambulance, because it is running an everyday.
Mhm.
So you have to have kind of like a mechanic or like an auto shop who is on call and ready to assist if the ambulance were to come down. But they do break and wear out easily since they're running every day.
And then the other part is they're not necessarily going down the best roads in the whole wide world. I imagine you've got patients pretty much everywhere on the good roads and the bad roads and the non-existent roads.
Correct. Every road you can think of, we have actually gone.
I got you. Now, how do we get a hold of you? You got website, social media, all of that stuff?
We do have Facebook. It's under Access Medical Transport. And then our phone number is 646-6970.
646-6970. I would presume that you've got a pretty good relationship with all of the admin people at the hospitals and the clinics, so that they say, okay, well, we're going to discharge you now, but you can't go home in a car. Or you go, okay, well, how am I getting home then? Genius.
Yeah, so we have, I think it's really ultimately up to the patient. They give the patient a choice what they want to do. So we just leave it up to them what they want. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, it sounds like kind of an exciting venture. Is this one of those things where you think you're going to be in this business for a while?
I think so. I believe so.
Yeah. It just seems that with people, you talk about the geriatrics and the older patients that you're dealing with, and there is a sizable population of people that is getting older.
I think so too, and I think a lot of people on Guam don't know. There are some people who actually live alone and don't really have the family members or the means of someone helping them, so they pretty much count on us to assist them to wherever they need to go.
Right. And some of the primary destinations, again, obviously the hospital is going to be one of them, and some of the other clinics where people have to go and avail themselves of some kind of medical service. Access Medical Transport. Wella is her name. The number is 646-6970.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you coming in here. Daryl was saying he's got you going to be on the radio with him in a little bit, and I said, you know what, I want a taste of that too. I want to learn. I want to learn a little bit more, because you never know. I mean, there's
true.
It's one of those things. Until you are in a situation where you've got to move somebody that is either leaving a clinic or going to a clinic and needs to lay down or be in a wheelchair, until you are in that position, you have no idea where to turn. So it's nice to know that there's at least you guys out there in the field.
You got it right. Just smashed it there.
I'll keep you in mind. 10 away from the top of the hour. The program continues.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
For more than 40 years, we've earned your trust, caring for our island's health, quality care and access to health solutions you deserve. Take care, our island, your health plan. Take care, health solutions that you deserve. Take care, peace of mind to comfort you. Take care, take care, take care.
Politics, I tell you, politics. That's what everybody's saying these days. Whenever something comes around and it is inexplicable, you cannot explain it for any reason, you say, it's politics. Why did Ray Tenorio have to show up at the police department the other day to get himself fingerprinted? He said, it's politics. When did he say it? I don't know. I got the interview. I played it a little bit earlier. I might jump around and do this one for you. But there's actually 2 of them. And there's frankly a third one if I wanted to be as complete with Ray Tenorio from last week. This is what Kevin and I, this is the great holy mystery that Kevin and I are trying to uncover. Last week he said it was just photographed. And then when he was approached by another reporter yesterday asking about a second fingerprinting, he said, yeah. Well, when was the first?
Yeah.
Because it didn't take place last week when he got photographed. He even says so. Yeah. So there is that great mystery. But they'd caught up with him, and I can't recall whether this is on the way in or on the way out. We'll find out together based on what Ramon says.
Pretty much far enough.
Did they give you an indication as to why you have to get a second set of fingerprints today?
Yeah, I guess there's some sort of I don't know. They need it digitally done.
And that wasn't.
No, wasn't done digitally.
Lieutenant Governor, what's your feelings on having to be fingerprinted for the second time?
It was, how do I say this? I think it's important that we look at, this criminal justice process. I will do whatever I'm asked to do. I know I'm innocent. I know that there's a lot of politics involved in this process. And, of course, how many other misdemeanor people that you get booked and are you at the Agana precinct for? So, really, I think this is quite enough.
In hindsight, do you wish that you had come here on Wednesday and gotten your fingerprints taken then?
Well, look, you get another bite of the apple and at my expense, so ultimately... We did what we were asked to do. Yeah, we did. We completed everything. They told us we had completed processing until 4:45 on Friday afternoon, and here we are at 4:45 on Monday, getting it done.
How long do you expect the process to take inside today?
I'm not sure, maybe just a few minutes, but I'm sure you'll be waiting outside for me to come again.
And that's the way that particular interview went at the police department yesterday. As I said, there was another video and that I can play for you, and it just interesting in this one where it's like you got Frank and Alicia that are on the appreciation tour. This one feels very similar.
Job, better education. My emphasis here today was to do what I'd already done, but I guess it wasn't good enough, so we're here again. But look, I respect the judiciary, the judges, the attorney general, police officers, everybody who works every single day to make our island safe. I respect my attorney and friends around me, my family who supported me through this process. I hope now that we can focus our attention on the real issues facing our island, try to help our island grow as a community and learn not about how politics can tear people down, but how politics can help people raise them to where they need to be.
Was the process really any different from what you did on Thursday? I mean, you said earlier that it had to be digital.
Yeah, it's a digital system. I'm really happy we had it. As a police officer and overseer of public safety, I'm glad that we have a digital system that's available. There's many crimes that haven't been solved in the past, unsolved murders, any number of crimes, so I'm really happy that we have this system. We've been working to equip the police department and the judicial system with the apparatus to make sure that they can bring people to justice, and that digital fingerprint can really help to catch a lot of criminals who are doing things in our community. And look, we want to help people to be able to not commit crimes in the first place. It's kind of the reason I want to have free college tuition and free trade school education. So I'm really happy. There was great guys in there doing their job, just like they do every single day, except a little bit more sensational than usual.
So again, no mugshot was taken?
No, just a regular photo, which was done previously at the probation office as well.
A regular photo? So
Yeah, you know, photo.
Selfie.
Photo was taken.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
I feel like I should ask a question. Here, let's talk about pictures again. Did you take a selfie?
You mean a photo, or was it a photo?
A mugshot photo. Were you holding a thing with your name and your social security number
Depends
on it?
on what the definition of is.
I'm 8:56 in the morning, so there's that, and that was the tantalizing for the folks in the media community. It's the next step in that booking process. Hence the name on today's program, which is Book 'em Dano, a throwback to the original Hawaii Five-0 days with Jack Lord. Anything else is a pale and cheap imitation of Hawaii Five-0. I've seen a couple of episodes of the new one. Don't like it.
Yeah.
I want Jack Lord. I want Jack Lord's hair. Actually, you remember back in those days? I mean, that was a boss haircut, for heaven's sakes. You could control the world, I think, with that. And the other very tantalizing is what is going on with Frank and Alicia. All right, this is my sense of it. There's going to be a write-in campaign.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm just going to, because I haven't said it yet. And maybe it's for me. Maybe I've got to say it for me. There's going to be a write-in campaign. I'm not speculating anymore. I'm not trying to infer any hidden meaning behind them going out and waving at everybody a couple of times a day. It has nothing to do with the fact, well, maybe there's a little bit. Hey, thanks very much for your support. You know, arguably they got just under half of the Democratic votes that were cast in the primary election, and so that's the way it is. So I'm okay with coming out and saying there is going to be a write-in campaign, and Frank and Alicia are going to embrace it here in the next few days. So I anticipate maybe another afternoon with some waving in it. Frankly, speaking of Frank, you know, remind me that I want to do this. We should have a wave. We should go out and wave. And one afternoon, and people will say, "What the heck is that about?"
No signs, nothing, just waving.
Maybe we'll get a sign. You know, I got the guy next door. He can print up a sign for me.
Don't vote for us.
Don't vote for us. We're just waving.
We're just saying hi.
Anyway, so that's. Let me put an end to the speculation. There's going to be a write-in campaign, and they're going to embrace it. The question that I keep getting asked from people that are of the same mind is, what the hell are they waiting for? Yeah. Why? You know, what did the lady say? It was 26 days away from the general election. Mm-hmm. Do you think that is enough time to mount a write-in campaign? I don't know. I don't know. I know what the goals are. And frankly, they are to disrupt. But in my mind, okay, you could have made that decision and come out of the closet the day after the primary. As soon as it became very clear what was going to be happening and what you guys wanted to do, it would not have been all that tricky. It's 8:58 and about time for me to make a decision on what I'm going to be doing with my life. Originally, when I woke up this morning, I didn't think I had it in me to do an entire 4 hours worth of the radio today. But as I listened to myself and the feeling in my throat and the feeling in my nose, I think I might be able to hang for another hour. So anticipate an entire and won't my partners here at Choice Broadcasting be delighted to hear that I intend to be here for the entire shift today. Can you imagine that? So let me set up the next hour. Fox News Live is coming up. Okay, and that's all I got for you. So we get Fox News and 54 minutes of, small talk portion of the program? Oh, you got people coming in? Oh, right on. Okay, groovy.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to Officer Paul.
Right. He's going to find out how come you guys weren't arrested for lollygagging in the bars all day yesterday. It's 9 o'clock in the morning where KUSG had gotten you. Stand by for Fox News Live.
It could be a major hurricane by midweek. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. A state of emergency declared for 35 counties in Florida as Hurricane Michael is expected to make landfall on the Gulf Coast in the middle of the week. Florida Governor Rick Scott.
Families should get 3 days of water and 3 days of food and make sure all medications are ready. Now, check on your neighbors and listen to local officials.
The storm is now off the western tip of Cuba.
Currently a Category 1 hurricane, winds at 80 miles an hour. Those are going to intensify, and as a result, we're beginning to see hurricane watches and warnings stretching along the Gulf Coast. The hurricane conditions are headed that way from Pensacola, stretching across Panama City, over towards the Big Bend of Florida. All areas, especially there along the Panhandle, are spots where you could see the worst of this storm.
Fox's Adam Klotz. Alabama Governor Kay Ivey has also declared a state of emergency. Moments from now, President Trump will hold a ceremonial swearing in for his newest Supreme Court pick, Brett Kavanaugh. He talked about the ceremony a short time ago when he arrived back at the White House.
I think it'll be something very, very special.
Justice Kavanaugh was sworn in over the weekend and has already begun preparations for his first day on the bench. Federal investigators on the scene of a crash in upstate New York where a limousine carrying several members of the same family crashed. 20 people were killed when the limo barreled through an intersection and collided with a parked car.
Looking for any possible corrosion that may have existed in the vehicle, as well as any vehicle body and frame integrity.
NTSB Chairman Robert Sumwalt, relatives have said the group was headed to a birthday party at the time of the crash. The United Nations saying its Secretary General is very concerned about the disappearance of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Turkish officials say the Washington Post contributor was killed at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul and his body was removed from the building. The Saudi consulate disputes that report. This is Fox News.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
A South Carolina officer killed in the line of duty is laid to rest a week after he was shot by a gunman who wounded 6 other officers.
Tributes came from those Sergeant Terrence Caraway knew.
Let me live for others so that I might live like thee.
And those he mentored into law enforcement.
I stand before you not a product of my environment, but a product of his vision.
Sergeant Caraway was killed last week protecting other wounded officers from a gunman in Florence, South Carolina. Darlington County Sheriff Tony Chavis was among the officers who saluted Caraway for his sacrifice.
We're bridge builders for our community. We need to be here to serve our citizens, and that's what Terrence did.
Caraway was a 30-year police veteran who leaves behind a wife and son. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke has approved a 20-year ban on new mining claims in the mountains north of Yellowstone National Park. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says more progress is being made in the push to get North Korea to denuclearize.
Secretary of State Pompeo on his way back from Asia, he met for 5 hours on Sunday with Chairman Kim Jong-un in Pyongyang. Pompeo said significant progress was made on efforts to get the North denuclearized. North Korea said the same thing, describing the meeting as productive and wonderful. Kim confirmed a pledge he had made earlier to allow international inspectors to visit a nuclear test site it claimed it had destroyed earlier in the year, also a missile test site. Finally, progress also being made on planning for yet another summit involving President Trump and Kim to follow up on their Singapore meeting in June. No word on when or where that will be held. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
A life-size bronze statue of Soundgarden frontman Chris Cornell unveiled at a Seattle museum. Cornell's wife Vicky commissioned the piece and donated it to the Museum of Pop Culture at Seattle Center. Cornell committed suicide last year. Lisa Lacera, and this is Fox News.
If you are looking to rent trucks, forklifts, or construction equipment, including Kohler generators, then contact Morico Equipment on EPOW Road, 649-1946, or click moricoequipment.com. Box trucks, reefer trucks, freezer trucks, flatbed trucks, tractor trucks, water trucks, forklifts, excavators, backhoes, loaders, skid steers, bulldozers, compact rollers, telehandlers, boom lifts, scissor lifts, diesel generators, air compressors, light towers, MorcoEquipment.com.
Yes, goeatatkings.com. I don't think that's their actual website, but if it would, that would be a good one. Goeatatkings.com and try the bistechamorro.com at Kings because it's good. They know you like it. They know how you like it. They've been making it here for like 40 years, and that's why it's the Tuesday special. Tomorrow is going to be pork sinigang, and then Thursday is meatloaf, and then Friday is beef tenactac. And people tell me when I put the week into that kind of perspective, linking each day with the food, it makes it feel like the weekdays actually go faster, right? Sheer genius. I'm always thinking. 906 Eat at Kings.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Rita Tidegui of Manila, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Ingatan ang iyong tahanan. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Who's that? Lynn Vince Polino says, happy you're hanging around for your last hour. Don't worry. We'll let you know when you start sounding loopy. Feel better, Ray. Something is going around. Like I said, I was not uncomfortably close, but a friend of mine who was doing some severe coughing over the weekend, she was in the hospital because she got the flu. And it occurred to me while I was thinking about it is I don't generally get a flu shot because I don't generally get sick. Hopefully this isn't the flu. I don't have the feeling like it's the flu. It's just a little bit of congestion in the nose and some coughing that the Dayquil is managing to keep away. But I took that Dayquil at 4:45 this morning, so I got a feeling at some point it's going to begin to unwind on me. And I hope I don't get any on you when it does. 9:07 and portions of the program brought to you by GRMC. Here I am talking about being sick in hospitals. And the program sponsored by GRMC, first choice for all of your open heart surgery needs. American President Lines, they're shipping the future. American Water Tech, they're making water smarter and better. And the guys over at Micronesia Renewable Energy, there's never been a better time to go solar. I'm sure there's one more, and I'll remember that after these.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagana, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
Portions of the program, see, I told you I'd remember. Because Mike reminded me, Cold Stone Creamery invites you to try banana bread, battered ice cream, and sea salt caramel ice cream. What's that? Salt in my ice cream? Get out of here with that noise. You got to try it. Made with premium Ghirardelli sea salt caramel sauce. And with a name like Ghirardelli, you know it's good. With it. With names like Ghirardelli and Cold Stone, you know it's going to be good. Try it. They're celebrating 30 years of being the ultimate ice cream experience.
The Coconut Wireless is back. Watch and listen live on thepoint.gu.
Big Sister Shelly says she's going to bring me some Zicam. Is that good? Does that stuff work? I don't know. Isn't Zicam the one that you take before you get sick? You know, like those airplane fizzy things?
Yeah, well, I mean, you might be in the pre-sickness. It might get worse, so the Zicam probably wouldn't hurt.
No. That kind of thing doesn't happen to me. That kind of thing happens to you.
Me either.
You're the one.
You said Zicam. You saw the puzzled look on my face. Like, what's that?
I don't know. Beat me later when you got that. Where are we? 9 after 9. And that's delightful. Just got a note here. It says, Paris Mendiola has subscribed to my channel. That would be the YouTube channel. We're broadcasting in a number of different ways in a number of different places. I've got, you can listen to me on the actual radio, 93.3. But we are finding more and more people like to be able to watch and listen and interact on things like Facebook Live, the social medias, and YouTube Live. So we stream off in that direction. You can also watch the video on the radio station's website, thepoint.gu. I'd asked a question, interestingly enough, while I'm thinking about it. Hold on a second. Let me just call the website up here online. I'd asked a question yesterday about marijuana because they've sent what Bob Klitsky thinks is a piece of doomed legislation up to the governor's office for his signature that would provide for an easier mechanism for medicinal marijuana on Guam. And I'm kind of curious. I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those things where I'm kind of tired of hearing about it. And I think maybe the answer would be, look, let's just make it legal. Let's just recreation in the community. We just go, wow, we've been talking about how bad marijuana is since the 1960s. You know, and I remember in the 70s, you get all the original potheads. Some of you are listening that used to go and watch. I want to say anyway. Those are my thoughts. I wonder what a policeman has to say about that. Hey, Paul, how you doing? Where you at, bro? I cannot hear him. Is he gone? Hello, Paul Tabao. Yeah, maybe he just goes, oh, he's talking about dope. I don't know if I want to be near this conversation. Let me see if I can get the police department 10-foot pole on that. 9:12 in the morning. And you know where they're going to use a 10-foot pole? They're going to use a 10-foot pole at the legislature. This is the latest from the guys over at the Chamorro Land Trust Commission. We've investigated ourselves and found no wrongdoing. No, literally. That's literally. That's what this says. The Chamorro Land Trust Commissioners, in the last 5 months, the commission has met 7 times to discuss all of the issues that have arisen, initiated with the controversies at Barragata Heights. And with this press release, the commission will be sharing all that has been discussed at our meetings, the commission's investigations, findings, decisions, and next steps. So the first finding, based on their investigation, is no wrong...
Went up in smoke.
Up in smoke there. A Cheech and Chong reference.
I'll tell you that, man. I don't feel nothing, man.
9:14 in the morning. I don't know. Is there a sentiment among the police officers about the enforcement of marijuana laws on Guam? Wait, we lose him again? What happened there? What? Am I asking? It's not a hard question. You might have to redial on him or ask him to redial on us. I don't know, some weird wonky thing going on with the... It's there. He's back. Paulie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm like floating posts left and right. But yeah, you know, I was going to say, you know, with the preparation and in the anticipation, should the medicinal gets kicked into full gear, you know, our officers are being trained with the A-right to identify, you know, to help address these issues. So,
well, and could change the perspective. But in terms of, you know, the police department's cop attitudes about marijuana, is there a little bit more tolerance? You know, I mean, if you find somebody and, you know, they're high but they're not doing anything wrong, do the guys generally go off in the other direction? And again, all right. Well, maybe we'll schedule an in studio. For some reason, seem to be incapable. Yeah, all right. Well, try it again. So, Pauline, one more time here. So when the guys are, I know what's happening. Sometimes that'll happen. Like you're on the regular phone, but your WhatsApp will ring, and it disconnects the other guy.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Listen, the reason why I'm asking is, you know, I want to know what the sentiment is, but the police department is also looking at people's sentiments on community policing, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, we are full swing with our business process review. And, just to bring everybody up, to the light of what we're doing with our business process review. This is part of our community police strategy. And, part of the Guam Police Department's strategic goal is to have a business process review to show how, and to help develop how the Guam Police Department can help better serve the community. And, we're requesting and we're requesting an audience with the Guam Election Commission to see if we can actually, volunteers from the Guam Police Department partake with the election by conducting surveys about how they interpret the police, how we provide the service, their dislikes and some things in which we can go, because it really sets the tone in how we're going to move forward with the Guam Police Department. And when we get the opinion from the community about how we do our business, it's really going to help us navigate where we move forward with our business process review. So the survey is one of the components that's going to assist us and provide that guidance into providing us the platform to help better provide the service with our officers, to help better provide service in general with the Guam Police Department for the community.
Now, tell me a little bit more about the survey, though. I mean, how many people are you trying to do your interviews with, and how many how many questions are you going to be asking? I thought I saw somewhere where it's 109 questions. That can't be right.
Yeah, I mean, these are pretty much general questions that everybody asks about safety and security within the community. And, the questionnaires is going to be where we're going to ask if you can take it home, and then, we can actually come back, or you can actually drop it back at us and everything. But
okay, because I figure voting is kind of an in and out process. So I figured if asking 100 questions, figure about 30 seconds, 40 seconds for each question, you could actually be there for a long time. So you're asking people to take the surveys and execute them and then deliver them back.
Yes, absolutely. And we don't want them, we don't want it to be cumbersome where they have to make that decision that's going to affect the government. But we want them to really dwell and think about the where we can better our services. And it really helps when everybody's truthful and they have a full understanding.
Yeah.
You may have that great experience with an officer, or you may have that poor experience, from an officer who just gave you, just not the service that we are working for. So it really is, it can be cumbersome for some, but we really ask that you look deep into the survey, answer the questions, and be truthful about how you answer, because it's only going to help us better our service for the community. So to answer your question about how many we're looking at, so there's a mathematical equation that we're looking at. So we're trying to get at least over 2,000 people to take the survey, so we can have a full, based on the population and everything, the ratio and stuff, where the general populace is at. That's where we're going to be targeting our areas for the survey. So, October 11th, we meet with GEC, and hopefully, they give us a nod to say go ahead and then proceed. So, again, everything that goes into that is all volunteer-based. So, this is going to be the major component that helps drive our business review platform with the Guam Police Department.
Right. Well, I'd love the opportunity to take the survey for you. Is there a particular audience that you're looking at for this survey? I mean, do you want older people, younger people, more males responding, more females responding? Will you look at it in terms of the ethnicity of the respondents?
Like I said, the numbers and everything will we're not going to be specific as to who the audience is, because, really to do these type of surveys, we do need the general input from the entire community. Yeah. So, we're from different perspectives and how we see things from different cultural, ethnic backgrounds, from gender. It really plays an important role that we get as much as the communities participating with this survey, so that we can have a broader a better picture to which helps us as we move forward with our business process review.
Paul, will you be looking at questions that come from other members of the law enforcement community, Attorney General's office, things like that, the courts?
Not necessarily. We are completely keeping it police-centric. And, again, it really is to determine the service and how we provide that service and how to better that service. So everything is going to be pretty much just police-centric. So the questionnaire is about after the fact somebody gets arrested. I was just explaining this to my son, the components of law enforcement. We are pretty much the enforcement portion. The judiciary branch plays as the interpreter of the law, and of course the correction and the reforming of the individual that should be incarcerated. So there's three phases in everything. We are pretty much going to focus on the services that the Guam Police Department provides to the community.
I would say that and the simple answer, I think, when you come down to it, is we just need more officers. We need more officers. We need more patrol cars. We need more opportunities for enforcement in so many different places and at so many different times. I think everybody's got that feeling like, well, it's Saturday, it's Sunday, and there's not doing DUI, and so we're on weekend crews with the police, and maybe now is a better time to be conducting crime or screwing around on the roadways and that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely, and this helps us because we have a chief that he's really strong on data, and he from his military background and empowering us and how data is important and stuff. His philosophy is data drives decision making, data drives the direction of where we're going to go, and this helps us too, because when it comes down to budgeting and stuff, we see the needs of the community, And basically with the business process review and the survey and everything, it'll pretty much be a platform too when we go in every year, every fiscal year, as we present our budget and the importance of our budget for recruitment, our importance of our budget for the assets that we need, such as cars, such as just the different things that helps each patrol officer, each officer within the Guam Police Department have a function in which they can actually do their jobs very effectively and efficiently.
Yeah, well, you know who I love is the people at Records, and I'm not just saying that because I need to go get my permit redone.
Yeah, the ladies there and the men and women that work up at our Records and ID section, they work diligently to provide that service and stuff. So it's really important that it's not just within the sworn officers. This also is going to affect our civilian support employees that help us, help the officers within the
people.
line.
Yeah, people. You think in terms of police service, you're thinking about cops on the road, but there's people in the offices and dispatch and admin and all of that, and they've all got a vital job keeping the men and women in blue on the field. Dude, I got to run. I'll talk to you pretty soon.
Okay, thank you again. So, again, once we get the nod, we'll find out October 11th. So please, as the community, when you see us in the precinct polls and everything, take the survey, take it home, answer it thoroughly, and, help us steer us in the right direction.
You got it, bro. You call me if you need me.
Thank you. All
right, that's the Amigo. Sergeant Paul Tapau from the Guam Police Department. Yes, there's going to be a survey. I was originally thinking that the survey was going to take place there for 109 questions, and I'm sorry, the answer is going to be, I like your uniform, but no, I'm not going to do 100. But yeah, I'd take it home and fill things out. Give it some thought, some moments of pause and reflection. Yeah, there could be a little bit of that. Speaking of moments here, I'm getting word on the Facebook Live that there are some places where it is buffering and slowing down. I'm seeing the same thing happen on my side because it's for some reason it must be something it's either Facebook or the internet. You're not having any internet problems in there, are you? No? Okay. So
everything seems to be going okay.
The lights are all still on, so everything is all right. The infrastructure is okay. Speaking of surveys, have you seen this? 9:25, and the survey, this KUAM News story by Chris Barnett, Lou and Josh are in the lead, according to a KUAM News student UOG poll conducted over the weekend. And some of you might be thinking in terms of kind of old school broadcasting, Ray, your choice broadcasting. KUAM's not one of your stations. You shouldn't be talking about KUAM. The truth is, at this radio station, I'm agnostic. I don't care. They are a news source. We are a news station, and I want to be able to talk about all of the different news, whether it's got my call sign on it or not.
Why limit yourself?
Exactly. And I like talking about PNC stories, too, because I know it just confuses the hell out of them. Okay. Wait a second. It's a former employee. He's our competition. Why is he talking about? Yeah, because it amuses me. That's why. Lou and Josh lead the KUAM UOG student poll. Leon Guerrero and Josh Tenorio held a commanding 65% to 30% lead over their competition, Republicans Ray Tenorio and Tony Atta. 371 registered voters were polled in a combination of telephone and personal interviews. 242 respondents, or 65%, said they thought Leon Guerrero would be the next governor of Guam. Only 110 respondents said they thought Ray Tenorio would be the next governor of Guam. 19, or about 5%, provided a response other than Leon Guerrero or Ray Tenorio. My name or Bob Klitsky's? Oh! Maybe Frank Uggan and Alicia Limtiaco. Maybe they were among the only 19.
The non-committal candidates.
I wonder how Ron phrased the question. Because this Ron's guys, right? Yeah, UOG's Public Administration Data Analysis class. Anyway, so that's the number. 65% said so they are in with Leon Guerrero. 30% say Ray Tenorio, and a pitiful 5% say other.
That sounds like pretty much a butt kicking.
It sounds like a majority.
Yeah.
It sounds like no runoff here. Nothing to see, guys. No write-off that would lead to the runoff. How much credence do you want to put in that?
Yeah, I think these kids were answering a question that It was asked in a way that did not ask them who they would vote for, just for their sentiments on who they thought would win.
See, that's how I want to see what the question was. You know, are you going to vote for this? 371 registered voters. Well, if you're a registered voter, wouldn't you ask them who they're going to be voting for? But maybe they were looking for a different kind of response on this. Who you think is going to be the next governor of Guam, not necessarily who you're going to vote for, because there could be people that will vote for Ray Tenorio.
Yeah.
But don't believe he'll win.
Yeah, in hearing the story as you read it,
yeah,
I would assume that the question was, who do you think will win? Not
so
who you're voting.
now they asked a couple of other questions in a couple of other races. For the Attorney General's race, 33% say they are for Doug Moylan, and 230, or 62%, okay, it's a pretty high percentage amount there. 62% say Levin Camacho.
Wow.
No, Levin's definitely strong.
Oh, we know, yeah.
Yeah, you saw the results of the primary election.
Yeah, I mean, I act surprised, and at this point, I should not be.
Yeah, and then in the congressional race, again, strong majority, solid numbers for Mike Sinicolas, 63%, to Doris Flores Brooks, 33%.
Wow.
But it's, see, that's it. Now, they're both popular. But, I mean, in terms of just sheer being able to get the voters to love her, Doris Brooks was right up there with Madeline Berdalio. I'm only aware of her ever losing one race. And that was the gig for lieutenant governor back once upon a time. So it's kind of interesting to look at these numbers. Now, I will give you another thought that is in my head. Even though, for the most part, Ron's surveys have generally been pretty accurate. I was a student at the University of Guam as well. At the time, I was dating a cheerleader, and which meant that if I was handed out an assignment that is, here's 25 polls, go and get them filled out, what would generally happen was the morning of the test, the morning that I was supposed to hand them in, I would gun deck my survey sheets.
Sure.
I would gun deck the survey sheets because, as I said, I was dating a cheerleader. Yeah. Certainly other things, other priorities in my life, right? 9:30 in the morning, 888-8255. Bob Kelly, Robert's on the line. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I just wanted to go back with the wording of the poll. A lot of times polls like this, and, you know, I kind of dig around with radio stuff nationwide. The reason they put a question the way they did is if I ask you, Ray, who are you going to vote for? Well, you immediately think, well, that's a private thing, or a lot of people do, and will chill out. But if you ask them, who do you think will win, they don't take that as personally that probing, and they're more likely to make an answer. And it's been found that a substantial majority of people who you think will win is really who the person will vote for, but they're not as defensive about the question and answer.
So it's just a lubricant to getting to what their version of the truth is.
That's right, because if you don't think your candidate, if I ask you who are you going to vote for and you don't want to tell me, if I ask you who you're going to win, you're probably going to tell me who you're probably going to vote for anyway, because if you didn't think they would win, you probably wouldn't be supporting them.
Exactly. So I think I get the idea here. I understand the point of it, but it's just interesting that it was worded that way.
Well, but again, the reason is many times if I just come out and bluntly say, who are you voting for, people will put up a defensive wall. That's personal. That's private.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you. But if you say, who is it that you think is going to be the next governor of Guam? Who do you think is going to be the next attorney general? Who do you think is going to be the next congressional person? It's unlikely that somebody would go, well, I'm voting for Ray Tenorio, but I think Lulian Guerrero is going to be the next governor.
Right. Well, they wouldn't, of course, even say that. They would just give you an answer. But you've got the point. It's just a matter of you get a whole lot more people who will answer who do you think will be the next governor rather than who you're voting for. They would have gotten probably 20-25% more responses the way they worded the question.
So then, Bob, what do you make of the results? Do you agree or disagree?
I think they might be slightly higher for Lou than what it's going to be, but I think in general that's the mood of the island.
Do you think the numbers for write-in or other are too high, too low, or just right?
Well, they have not really gotten a campaign for that off the ground, really. I have not seen any ads, really. I don't see a lot going out. I know there's been a few signs.
Yeah.
My only concern, but to some extent this poll helped make me feel it would not be a problem, is my biggest concern would have been that Lou and Ray would neither hit the 50% mark because of the write-in.
Yep.
And like if he were to get 10 or 12%, and there was a little bit closer margin between Ray and Lou than it appears there is now, it could turn out that Lou and Ray would need a runoff. I do not think there would ever be enough write-ins at the moment to get a runoff out of the general election.
And look at the calendar, for heaven's sakes. We're 26 days away. This is 3 weeks and a couple of wake-ups.
No, and so the question is, can there be several thousand people voting for the write-in, which would be enough to prevent a majority by either one? And I would hate to see us have to go through a runoff just because we had a write-in that got enough votes that it diverted away from a winner. But if this poll has any accuracy, that is not even a concern.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you on that point. Being in the talk radio business, it would be fun to have another couple of weeks worth of something to talk about election-wise. Otherwise, you wait out the Guam Election Commission, the certification of the results, and then you start doing the welcome aboard interviews.
But look at the extra cost it will be to the government of Guam to do another election.
Who cares? What are we talking about here? Lately, the Guam Election Commission has taken over and become the entertainment division of the government of Guam.
Well, that's true.
And this is exactly the kind of thing. This is democracy, man. This is a democratic republic in action. This is our opportunity to get out there and direct our future. And there is enough conversation now, interesting as it is, about how there's the party. And then there is the people, or the parties, and then there is the people. Do you honestly believe that the Democratic Party of Guam still represents, to a great degree, the Democrats of Guam? Or are they? Is it another party that is kind of deep stated themselves? And you could ask the same question to the Republicans, and I'll bet you, the responses would be even more passionate. Where you say, is it possible that the Republican Party of Guam no longer represents the greater interests of all of the Republicans on Guam, or is it just the connected, the well-connected?
Okay.
And so now there are then you get the voices of the Andres and the Kens that say screw the parties. What was the last nice thing that the parties ever did for you?
Yeah, that's part of the democracy. Everybody has the right for a write-in, and I do think I remember one senator made it as a write-in. In all honesty, well, let me just say one thing first on the thing. I don't think there'll be enough write-ins to put the write-ins in the top two. So it will just cause a runoff between the top two, and the person doing the write-in only cause an election to go back to the same top two anyway.
Yeah.
However, here's the one thing that I did not understand why Frank didn't do it. He made a pledge not to run as governor as a write-in. He did not make a pledge to run as senator. No senator there has seniority. I think that he made a full-blown campaign to run for senator. He would have ended up being one of the senior Democrats there, and if the Democrats have a majority, he could have been a speaker with almost the same amount of political power as what the governor had.
Arguably.
He did not go down that route. I don't think he would have been the top two or three if he ran for senator, but I think had he gone for a really good write-in and really went totally focused on it, he could have made the top 15, and he did not choose that, and that disappointed me.
Well, he hasn't publicly said no. That's my ad hominem attack. Well, he didn't say he wasn't.
Well, yeah, but he should have been. If he was going to do that, he should have started this a month ago, right after the general election. Say, okay, I'm not going to be governor, but I want to go back into the legislature to serve you. Please write me in. And if he would have started that immediately, I think it's too late, too little.
Yeah, and then the cool thing is he wouldn't be getting such a black eye among at least half of the Democrats that are out there that think he's a traitor and a turncoat and a liar.
He would have probably gotten the support of a lot of the people supporting Lou.
Could have campaigned with her.
Yes.
Could have gone to Olive Garden with them last night.
Yes.
Actually, I'm told that they didn't show up. They were at the Fino Tomorrow thing all night long.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it's always fun talking with you. We'll get together when I'm not drinking so much Dayquil.
Okay. Look forward to it.
Okay, buddy. It's 9:38 in the morning. That's my buddy Bob Kelly. 888-8255 is my telephone number. 888-8888 is the telephone number for the guys over at iConnect. Find out why they are the practical choice. Awesome plans on push-to-talk and mobile and internet. Yes, iConnect, the practical choice.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
Are high power bills sending your budget into chaos? Take control with the help of Micronesia Renewable Energy. Using the highest quality panels, a solar energy system from MRE will guarantee to save you money on power. With MRE, Christmas comes early. With every solar energy system, homeowners not only get $400 for signing up, but also an entry for a chance to win $1,000 in cold, hard cash, just in time for Christmas. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
Well, I wonder what the results of this hearing are going to be. Joe S. is going to have a public hearing today at the legislature on Bill 352-34. I have not read it, but the once upon a time part of it says it's relative to removing the 3 appointees of the governor of Guam from the Guam Ed Board, increasing the board terms from 2 years to 4 years, and make non-voting members voting members. I wonder why. They should read the bill. I don't know. I've become worried when we start going into longer terms for pretty much anybody. I think 2 years for membership on most boards and commissions is sufficient to cause enough damage. And if you were in there for 4, every once in a while you get these guys. You ever hear these yahoos? They go, "Hey, we need to make legislative terms 4 years." And no, we don't need to make them 4 years. We need to make them shorter. That's what we get. 1 year terms. That's what we need. We need to have an election every 1 year. I don't know. I'm hesitating to love that bill. Note from Daryl Taggarty on Facebook.
Just draw straws every 6 months.
Make it a draft. Everybody has to be a senator for a year. Right? You have to. This is the deal. You are a citizen of Guam. It's like jury duty. Everybody has to be a senator for at least 1 year, unless you can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're a danger to yourself, or you're criminally insane, or you've got health issues that prevent it. Every white, red-blooded Chamorro needs to be a part of the process around here.
There's probably some proof on record somewhere that I'm a complete idiot.
Have you seen my WhatsApp chats? Yeah, they're in there, buddy. But Daryl, writing in this morning, he says, with reference to the conversation we were having before about the possibilities of a runoff, I'd hate to see us spending $500,000 to help the major parties sort out their strongest candidates. And again, the point that Ken will make, the point that Andre will make, and the point that I'm beginning to enjoy making on the program is, it ain't about the parties. It's not about the parties. The parties will do what is in the best interest of the parties, of the well-connected, the well-heeled members of the party. But does that necessarily mean that they are doing right by way of all of the members of their parties? So you tell me, did and it will be a subject of a debate for a time because I don't think it's ever happened. I think that this is a history-making election in that the Republicans did not put out any more than one team. It was Ray and Tony the entire time. So, and my point that I made yesterday, and I think it's a valid point, at least nobody's, called in and disagreed with me violently on it, is as a Republican, I would have liked to have seen somebody else in there. What we saw in the primary election, we saw Ray Tenorio in a battle against 4 Democrats.
Right.
That's what we got. We got Ray versus Frank. We got Ray versus Lou. We got Ray versus Carl. And we got Ray versus Dennis. That's what we got. We didn't get Ray debating, engaging with another from among a conservative party.
Right.
Or any debates along conservative lines. Right? We didn't get that. We got Ray versus the Democrats. I think it would have been better. I think it would have been a more well-attended Republican primary if there was some competition for Ray to go against. And that's why I'm not putting a whole lot of faith into some of the numbers that we had seen in the primary election because I don't think it's going to apply. I think that was largely a Democratic primary. You saw the numbers. You see what happens. So I would have liked to have seen a little bit more coming out of that. So I don't know that the parties are definitely putting out the strongest of their possible candidates.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where we are. I just would have liked to have seen somebody else in there. And that I suppose is going to be the end of that question. Ken LG and his line, politically well connected. Yes, we like to use that. 888-8255 is the phone number. If you're going to be making a call, you better do it fast because it's already quarter away from 10 o'clock in the morning. 10 o'clock, Brian Kilmeade, because we're back to regular weekdays on the point, and that means I got the right-wing bomb throwers all day. Got Kilmeade, and then we go into Rush. Well, maybe you don't. I don't know. There might be people that go, really? Rush Limbaugh's back on Guam radio? Yes, he is. He's an afternoon guy here in the radio station before the other afternoon guy, and that's Bob Klitsky. I wonder what Bob is going to be talking about a little bit later on. Maybe going to be talking about the tax amnesty program, $30 million out of $35 million that was pledged. And I'm delighted that they got this money. But 2 caveats. Number one, we got $30 million out of the $35 million that was pledged. How much in interest and penalties did the government of Guam lose out on as a result of having the amnesty? Now, I'm the guy that called for the amnesty. If I'm not the first one, then I guarantee I was definitely in there because I know that in years past it was a great opportunity for us to be able to make some money on folks that had walked away from their debts to the government of Guam. So I was the guy that said, "Hey, listen, if we're in a cash crunch, let's see what we can find by way of an amnesty." And then they did it, their way. A couple of deadlines that they had allowed to be moved around, which I wasn't in favor of. But I'm not the director of the Department of Revenue and Taxation. Mm-hmm. But interest and penalties for all of the different infractions is money now that is lost. So that's caveat number one. Are you ready for caveat number two?
Okay.
We're not going to be able to do it again in 2019.
Oh.
So that's $35 million. Yeah, the $30 million. That's it for the unpaid of these that came forward. I don't know that we're going to be able to do it again in 2019, and I don't know if we want to do it again in 2019 because we don't want to dog whistle the idea that every time we get into some kind of a cash crunch annually, that will roll out the red carpet to people that are scofflaws. So you wanted to make a point? You can.
I was just going to say, but I did a little bit of math there, and even if the penalties and interest were a paltry 2%, which they're probably more than that, you're already looking at a loss of $600,000.
Yeah, in the very least. So, and what was it that I like it? John Camacho. They asked him. Kevin asked him in the Daily Post. Lawmakers have asked for a report on how much in penalties and interest the Department of Revenue and Taxation gave up during the amnesty period. Camacho said his staff is in the middle of adding it all up, but he acknowledged it's a lot. It's a lot. It's going to be a lot of money. That's the point. Taxpayers who are not able to pay off the full amount will be getting a letter showing how much they now owe in penalties and interest. So there's at least a bunch of people that pledged and weren't able to come up with the dough, and they're going to be nicked for penalties and interest on the lapses that they've got. Wouldn't it be fun to know the names? No, you don't send them a letter showing them their new balance. You have a guy from collections walk over with the letter that has the new balance on it.
And a
say,
credit card machine.
Yeah, and one of the little square deals that goes on top of the iPhones and says, okay, you can pay me now. Otherwise, the next thing that I'm going to bring to you is a summons and a complaint that we will file in the court, and then you will get to be see, that's the other side of the amnesty. So there was the carrot. Which was, you come and get right with Jesus, and we'll forgive the interest and the penalties. We just need the dough right now, so we're happy to forego that. The other side is the stick. It is now time for stick, and I hope, I'll bet BJ's thinking the same thing. I hope they don't miss this opportunity to create what Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio refers to as a teachable moment, or a teaching moment, where everybody else will all of a sudden start to be able to watch in real time cases and trials, etc., involving guys that are on the wrong side of the Department of Revenue and Taxation. All right, while I've got time, table of contents. Do you need me to take a break this minute? I mean, I could, right?
You can when you're ready. We got one more.
Okay, I get a little bit to go. All right. FEMA has said no. Actually, that's not how they said it. When they were asked if they would be able to provide some kind of assistance to individuals as opposed to the rest of the community, the FEMA's response was
denied.
Almost like we planned that, Michael Knight.
Almost.
They said no. The governor's office is denying the denial. You can't deny us. So they're going back again and asking for, they're looking to make some kind of an appeal back to FEMA and saying, come on.
Seems like denying the outcomes of things is becoming a habit here. We deny the outcomes of elections. Now we
no,
deny
you absolutely
the
do. No, you absolutely do. That's I used to work for a guy, and people that know my history will know who I'm talking about. But I'm going to say his name. His name is Lee Holmes. Among the smartest guys I ever knew, and an incredible amount of respect for him, for his intelligence, his capabilities, for his strategic and tactical thinking, and he was the guy that taught me years ago: if you don't like a law, you fight it. And if you don't like the outcome of something, you appeal it. I mean, he had a great legal sense that this guy had, and perfectly willing to keep you dangling in court for years and years and years. Ask some people around him. Take a look at the Organic Act. There are certain things that have his name on it that were challenged by him and his business in the past. So absolutely happy to litigate. That used to be my favorite word. Litigate!
Litigate.
Litigate! Call the lawyers. Get lawyered up. Litigate. Anyway, so that's the deal. So you don't like the outcome of the election? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's people that go, oh, my God, there goes Ken Leandro again, clowning on the radio.
But
so what?
But if that's the case, why even have the election? I mean, the whole thing's had so that we trust the results. If you don't trust the results, then maybe it's time to figure out a different system or something.
Well, we've experimented with different systems before. We still, at the end of the day, have to have a meaningful way of people to be able to go to the polls and cast a vote, have those votes counted, and reliably counted. And there has always been, in the elections on Guam, there have always been times where there's been a client or a lawyer or two that got together and said, we disagree. We disagree, and we're going to fight this and take it all the way to the Supreme Court. Some of these cases have gone. So I get it. You take a look at how it happens in some states. Think about Florida in the last 20 years and their capabilities. So I mean, if a full-blown huge state like Florida can't get it right, does that not give you a sense of just beyond the shadow of a doubt, right? Is there just this thing where you go, maybe a mistake was made. Maybe a mistake could have been made. Maybe there was a process that got dropped. And we know because there were questions coming up right after the election.
Yeah.
And so if you are, as I said, in that fringy area, just beyond the shadow of a doubt, lawyer up, babe. Lawyer up.
Can we blame it on the millennials?
Not in this case.
Gotta be Italian somewhere.
No, not in this case, because this frankly isn't of their doing. This is all junk that they've been working on since I was a kid, and it has not largely changed since then. I mean, what was the joke going around? I know what the joke was going around because I do it every 2 years. Is what time is the power outage? What time is the power going to go out over at the polling center? Because it always does. Oh, well, we've got the generator back up and we got GPA crews out there and they're standing by. Okay, but the power's still going to go out inside. It will happen. 9:52, I got to be right back after these.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
Calvo started with a simple handshake. As we celebrate 80 years, we extend a hand to all of you who have taken our hand in trust, to the dreamers and realists, the families, the businesses, the young at heart, and the old souls, our manumku and our children. From all of us to all of you, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
Dun, dun, dun. 9:53. Hello. Welcome to the Fringes of Democracy. My name is Ray Gibson. Good to have you around. Hey, Ken. What's up, buddy?
Well, I just caught your little discussion about fighting for truth and justice in the American way.
Amen.
And I encourage everybody to do that because, like the situation with the fuel tax, everybody complained about it. I went and filed a lawsuit against the government on it. And we're still in court, and I have very high expectations that they'll be resolved. But the point is the government's supposed to work for us, and if the government does something that doesn't work for us, then we should challenge it, going back to the CLTC, investigating themselves and finding themselves innocent.
I was very disappointed to read this report.
As every citizen should be, and every taxpayer should be, but unless enough people raise concerns about it, they'll just be passed off.
Well, because they're basically, here's what it is. We invested ourselves and we discovered we didn't do anything wrong. And then the next thing that they're going to do is take their findings and their new ideas on how everything ought to work in the future and have that go get blessed by the legislature. And I'm telling you guys, when you see them coming, lock the doors.
Yeah.
Run away. Turn off the lights. Make sure the TV is off. Don't let them be able to hear anybody inside. Just run silent, run deep until they go away. I was going to say, like when the witnesses show up at the house, you know? We'd like to talk to you about Jesus. There's nobody home.
Well, I'm glad to see that there are people that are starting to question things because now when you go to the legislature, 2 or 3 years ago, it'd be 1 or 2 people testifying against something. It'd usually be me, Bob Klitsky, or Andre Bainum. Now you go, and there's a lot more people testifying for or against different pieces of legislation, and that's progress. And that's why I'm watching to see how this bill on live streaming boards and commissions comes out, because that could help take citizen participation to the next level. Because these boards and commissions wield a lot of power.
Well, and you remember how I got started in this was a conversation about St. Augustine's legislation that would put people in the on the Ed board for up to 4 years. I'm sorry, the Ed board in my mind has only been good since Mark Mendiola got there. So I've seen just too much havoc come out of that board.
Yeah, and the same thing over on the Guam Environmental Protection Agency for a while. That place was wild and crazy.
Well, remind me, you know what? Barnett did another great piece on the EPA and how they have almost a standing policy to look the other way on fines as long as somebody attempts to do something that looks like a cleanup. And I don't think it needs to be. I think it should be quite the opposite. I think if we catch people that are taking advantage of the opportunity and loosey-goosey policies, then they ought to be made to pay their fines.
All we have to do is look around Guam and see evidence of what you just said. Because one day I caught some people throwing tires on my property.
Nice.
And I called the police department. And they said, you have to call EPA. I called EPA, and you know what EPA told me? He says, well, we didn't see them, and we don't know that picture that you took was taken, appropriately. We don't know whether it's been photoshopped or not. So, if you see them doing it again, call us, and we'll come out and investigate. What do you think the chances are someone throwing tires on another person's property is going to wait around until the EPA finally answers their phone, if they ever do, and drives all the way down from Tijan to Santa Rita to investigate a littering claim?
You know what? We'll get the mayors on that right now with those trucks that were bought for them by the Recycle Revolving Fund.
No, but those are only supposed to handle recycling, not pollution. But for some reason,
the whole thing was cockamamie.
People at the airport, drop off kids at school, and pick up donuts.
Yep, I've seen it. I've gotten pictures of it back in the old days before we were streaming live to television. Hey, I got to go because it's already 10 o'clock.
Well, you had a good show.
I think I did today, didn't I? Come back tomorrow, considering how sick I was. Hey, listen, I may or may not be here tomorrow, depending on how sick I feel when I wake up. But you know what? There is a truth, there is a truism, and that is Gibsons don't quit. So unless I'm in the emergency room, then there's a pretty good chance that I will be here conducting the emergency broadcast. In fact, maybe that's what we'll call it tomorrow, the emergency broadcast of the Ray Gibson Sick
Don't
Sick
leave me
Guy
here
Show.
by myself because you won't want to pay the fine.
It's 10 o'clock in the morning. The radio station is KUSG. Got you. My name is Ray Gibson. It's for Michael Knight and Kevin Kerrigan and Blake Watson and everybody else that makes the show fun listening to listen to. Thanks so much, and we'll catch you tomorrow morning right here on The Point 93.3 FM.
White House ceremony. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. His work at the High Court has already begun, but President Trump held a ceremony at the White House for Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Fox's Steve Rappaport has more live.
Lisa, President Trump started off with an apology to Justice Kavanaugh and his family for everything they endured.
Those who step forward to serve our country deserve a fair